this evening by the wonderful Paula M, Victoria, and Manuela. And of course, myself, Ron Swanson, who's currently sat in the dark with an eyeball that feels like a ball of molten steel. But Paula, how are you? It's great to be back. How have you been? Tell us how you're doing.
I'm doing great. Thank you. It's nice to be back. It's nice to see you guys. Hello. We have so much to talk about today. The shade from British Vogue. And I just found out that Brooke Shields is an actual descendant of the King Henry IV from France.
From France?
Yes. So wow. She actually did right putting Meghan Markle in her place, which is trash.
Well, I honestly put ChatGPT to work today, and I was just like, find me the scandals about these two, and it is delivered. Now, before we get onto that, Victoria, how are you doing? You've got the hair bun, the top bun on point. What has been happening? How are you?
I'm getting the heads. Yeah, loving it. Back in my old flat again. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Oh yeah, you played the moving game and failed.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, I've had so much fun. I'm packing.
You're the only person I've ever met that's moved twice. You've moved twice and haven't moved anywhere. Brilliant, mate. Top drawer. Well, look, we'll get into the topics in just a minute. But Manuela, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Hi.
Thank you for being here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll jump into the topics.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. I'm Manuela. I'm a cosmetic chemist. I'm a scientist. I'm actually a female founder, an entrepreneur, and I'm from Toronto, Canada. And
awesome.
I do follow all of this, but I have my own factory and I make anti-aging skincare. And I've been on basically QVC HSN for about 27 years on a sister channel in the United States. So that's me as a professional. That's my background. So I'm a scientist and a manufacturer and a business owner. And I have my downtime is consuming a lot of this content and having my own very strong vitriolic opinions about it because of the fact that everything I did in my life, I had to work for. No one handed me anything. And I would love to have a great platform and do good with it. And it just bugs me when I see it's not working properly.
Yeah, okay, I'm with you. I think a lot of people have sort of come to the internet to sort of voice their concerns around a certain two individuals, which I'm sure no one gets any prizes for guessing, but there's a lot that's going on, right? I mean, the last time that we did a Royal Mess, we've had the Netflix show finally happened, right? That's how far back it was. I tried to do a video on it, and YouTube, I mean, the levels of copyright, like it was a case of if you publish this video, right, you're going to get strikes. Like it was straight up. The warnings, when you're only allowed to show the video in Russia, YouTube's basically the copyright system's closed in on you, which was disappointing because I was really looking forward to busting her chops in ways that I feel like I deserved. I feel like where's the website? Where's the jams? I know I keep saying this, but has anything happened? No, nothing. Okay. Worst business launch in the world. I keep saying it, Meghan. Release a book about how to get your man. That we all know you're good at. People would buy that. You bag the print, love. You bag the print. No one wants jam. We want to know the secret. We want to know the secrets. We know the secrets, okay? And I'm sure if the walls could talk at Soho, we would know a few things more. But Paula, let's start with you. Let's start with the anchor, the foundation of this whole royal mess since day one. What is that? Let's go through some highlights.
We can start with something light, or we can do the video. We can do the video thing.
Take us through some highlights, right, of the last 6 months, and then we'll go straight in.
Not 6 months is amazing, but let's start with something funny. You've seen the what the hell not? Well, let's go for it. I have the video here of
let's go for it.
What do I call it? That stupid woman, Meghan Markle. And she's been shut up by Brooke Shields and SXSW.
Okay.
I don't know if you had that or if you've seen it or anything like that.
I've not seen it. I'm just getting to. I'm at the stage where I've just learned about the twerking pregnancy video. There's
Oh
a
my
whole
God.
bunch of them.
Okay, I
There's a
didn't
whole
know
bunch.
that. Oh, I didn't know you didn't have that. So you haven't had any of that.
No, I'll be honest with you. I had a baby like 6 months ago, and it's been a
Oh,
bit
I know
hectic. So,
you had Nova. I know you had Nova.
I'm
So
actually
we're
just
gonna watch
blaming.
Brooke Shields. This is during
Okay.
Meghan. She did this thing about her going to South, whatever it's called, guys. I am deeply apologetic about that. It's XFW that she did, right? And
Right.
she's in the middle of recounting that story that we know is fake because it's been proven repeatedly that it's a lie. So I'm gonna mute myself and you're gonna watch it and then we're gonna talk about it.
Meghan, will you tell the story about when you wrote that letter to P&G? Because I don't know if everyone's heard it, but it's such a great story at a very young age, what you did.
So fun. Yes, I
Just
was.
disrupted the flow. I'm so sorry.
Well, it's good.
Go
Let's have
ahead.
a conversation.
That's what I love about interviewing Katie. I think it's okay. Let's jump in here.
I was 11 years old, about 11 years old, and I had seen a commercial on TV for a dishwashing liquid, and the boys in my class at the time said, it said, women all over America are fighting greasy pots and pans. And the boys said, yeah, that's where women belong, in the kitchen. And at 11, I just found that infuriating and wrote lots of letters and put pen to paper, and they ended up changing the commercial to people all over America. And, it's funny to look back at it now because that was before social media where you had a reach that was so much greater. It was just an 11-year-old with a pen and paper. But it just, I guess, goes to show that if you know that there's something wrong and you're using your voice to advocate in the direction of what is right, that can really land and resonate and make huge change for a lot of people. So your voice is not small. It just needs to be heard.
Yeah, this is where we're this is one of the ways where we're different. When I was 11, I was playing a prostitute. So
Okay, Brooke.
I wished
I
I'd
see
known
where
you
we're going here.
when I was
A little
11.
different.
I would have been writing very different letters, but equally important, I hope.
Wow. 11-year-old Brooke and 11-year-old Meghan.
Wow.
Meghan, will you tell the story about
Wow, it just sort of comes out of left field, doesn't it? Just like knockout shot to the face. Oh well, anyway, that's a banger.
But that's not it. It doesn't end there. It's just that then later on, Meghan Markle was so angry she actually confronted. This didn't come in the news until much later. So she confronted Brooke Shields about it, right? She was like, I did a video about it. Don't you know who I am and stuff like that. So she had when Brooke Shields, she forgot about it. Everybody was laughing. Everything was lighting up, right?
Yeah.
And then let me see if I have the video because I have to send it to myself. And then
Can
what
I
happened?
just say already I'm so pleased that we're back together doing this, right? Like for no reason at all. I feel like I've had 3 cans of Red Bull, right? My eyes starting to feel better. Like it's just a good thing, man. It's good
Changing your
vibes.
focus.
It's good vibes. It's good vibes. It's good vibes. So let us know. Give me some likes, give me some shares, push this out. Make sure you're subscribing, all of that good stuff. I don't have any of Manuel's links, but they will be in the description after the show. And there may be some more individuals popping in and out as per usual. But Paula, Brooke Shields.
So what happened? So when Brooke Shields, everybody started laughing. There was levity there, and everybody was just like, "Oh, this was funny because this was just too heavy." You know what I mean? So I'm sorry. I just sent myself a video here. Wait 1 second, because I have to download it.
Honestly,
So
I would have paid good money, but because Meghan's the sort of woman that goes running up to Brooke Shields with her Instagram account up saying, "Do you not know who I am?" Okay, she's one of those. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm going to share it from here because I don't have time to download it. I don't want to hold it back. So I'm going to play from here. I'm going to mute myself. So India Hicks, I don't know if you know who India Hicks is. India Hicks is this podcaster, but she's the goddaughter to King Charles III. She was a bridesmaid in Princess Diana's wedding, and her mother was a bridesmaid to the Queen.
Okay.
So this woman is a fierce woman.
That's the right amount of royal, Paula. Like that, if you're going to be connected to the royals, that's the right amount. Do you know what I mean? Just
No. Doesn't end there. She is, I think, the granddaughter or something like that of Lord Mountbatten. King Charles' uncle. So there's royalty everywhere with this woman. So she doesn't care. So she did
All
this
right.
interview about the clip that we just saw was about a year ago, right, guys?
North by Northwest.
And
I
Meghan
think
Markle,
so. Yeah.
Meghan Markle tried to basically diss Brooke Shields. She right at Southwest backstage, she called and she had one of her minions say that Her Royal Highness Princess Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, wanted to have a word with her. So when Brooke went to see what it was about, because she'd forgotten about it, Meghan is like, "Do you know who I am?" And Brooke just looked at her and said, "You know what? This woman's crazy." She didn't say it, but she just left. She said, "Oh, well, nice meeting you," and she left. So a year later, about a month ago or less, she did this interview with India Hicks. I'm gonna mute so you can listen to it, okay?
All right. Okay.
No. Okay, I don't know if you'll have to cut this out. You might. I don't know. You'll decide later. Okay, it's the best suitable. This is a best suitable. So, I don't know if I'm gonna get hated, but I get a call from Katie Couric, and he's doing South by Southwest. Big. They're closing the middle arena. We're closing it out. We're the only one. It's thousands of people. It's Katie Couric, Meghan Markle, and a doctor. And Katie asks him to be a part of it. So I was like, oh, okay. All right. You know what? Just do it. Just go talk about what you need to. We get there. Katie asks the first question to Meghan and talks about how, at a young age, she was already advocating for women, etc. So she starts talking and telling a story about how when she was 11, and she keeps saying, well, when I was 11, I saw this commercial and they were talking about washing dishes and only soap for washing dishes was for women. And she said, I didn't think only women washed it because it wasn't there. So I wrote to the company. And when I was 11, I wrote my first letter, and then I was 11, and she kept saying she was 11. But she writes to the company. They changed the text. They changed the commercial. And I go, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I guys just interrupt you there for 1 minute. I was trying not to be rude, but I wanted to be funny because it was so serious. And I just want to give everybody here a context as to how we're different. I said, well, when I was 11, I was playing a prostitute. The place went insane. And then luckily, it was more relaxed after that. And I was like, oh, I hope she doesn't think I'm rude. I'm not being rude. I was just I think it's genius. It was just too precious. And I was like, they're not going to want to sit here for 45 minutes and listen to anybody be precious, like, or serious or that I didn't know.
I think the most shocking part of this is the length of Brooke Shields' arms. Okay, there was obviously a bit of low quality video that makes everything look a bit crazy.
No. It's just that I downloaded it, but it was actually high quality. The thing is that she had her in her Substack, right? And the whole thing went viral. No, and then she ended up removing it, but not for the reasons that people are saying. It was not because Brooke Shields was scared. It was not because India Hicks was scared because this was a paid Substack. It was because of a phone call from Palace, because they didn't want to, like for Meghan Markle, because they're still protecting that woman. Because India Hicks does not care. India Hicks, truly, guys, I just gave you her pedigree, okay? And Brooke Shields is an icon, and she doesn't care. Okay, so she ended up removing the Substack. She removed the whole video. You can't find it anymore.
You see, I love the fact that Brooke Shields just knocked it out of the park. Like that like it completely destroyed her. I mean, that was mad. Her crazy gangle arms aside, her being told to remove that by the Palace makes sense. I mean, the Palace, and I tell you something, I have got the most tinfoil hat, crazy Ron theory for 2025 that is just going to annoy everyone because it's so far-fetched. You'll find out later. It's wild.
Paula, how do you know it was the Palace?
Oh, because I have a source, and I was like, oh my God, this is the Sussex Squad, because I was gonna do a video about this, how the Sussex Squad and Brooke Shields and stuff like that, right? And people were saying that it was Brooke Shields' podcast. They were wrongly reporting it as though it's Brooke Shields' podcast when it's not. It's India Hicks' podcast. in a Substack, which you had to pay for in order to watch that video because it was so popular. So the press, the mainstream media and Brooke Shields doesn't care. I mean, Brooke Shields was getting hate way back from Texas when she interrupted Meghan. She's been getting hate. And this is why she said it.
Do you think it was partly to do with the reason that it's so closely connected to her yachting days as well? Is it too close to the mark?
No, it's just that, just like Fergie, she gets a benefit of the palace. I mean, Fergie should have been in jail when she was filmed doing that thing. I mean, Fergie to this day still gets the protection by association. She's living in the Royal Lodge and Royal Grounds. I mean, and I was talking to Pidina about it yesterday. We were talking that, and actually, I just did my live. And we were talking about Blake Lively and how these women like Jada Pinkett Smith, Blake Lively, Amber Heard, or Meghan Markle marry really well-connected or powerful men or with families, and they enjoy the protection of these people. This is why Fergie has never remarried, because if she remarries, she will lose the Duchess of York, using the Duchess of York thing because of the letters patent the Queen did in 1997. And then this is why she doesn't marry, because she's living and this is the most expensive welfare, because this woman has literally been smooching off the royal family, living at the Royal Lodge all these years. So but Meghan Markle and Brooke Shields doesn't care. Brooke Shields is an icon. Brooke Shields weathered Tom Cruise when he called her crazy. I mean, do you think Meghan Markle and India Hicks, the only reason why India Hicks would do it is it not to anger Meghan Markle or upset Harry, because she would do it for her godfather. So that's what it is. And right now, but Meghan Markle is not getting love anywhere. I'm going to show you this because this is unbelievable. This is British Vogue.
Steeples says Fergie. He does. Big shout out, Matthew. Steeples, the living legend. Too good.
I am sharing something with you. This is British Vogue.
Oh my God! Someone save that dog! Someone save the dog! Save the dog!
I don't know if that's a dead dog or whatever, but Meghan Markle, if you guys remember, when she had just married Harry, she phoned Edward Enninful, who was the editor of British Vogue. She phoned him. And she offered herself to edit the cover of the magazine. At the time, it was reported as though Vogue had invited her. But then it came out that it was her, because during that very cringe video they both did, he said, "Oh, I couldn't believe it when I got your phone call and you offered to do the thing," right? But now they have spectacularly fallen off, because this is what British Vogue published one day ago. Before Meghan Markle joined the royal family, she had her own Instagram. She posted overly saturated travel photos with her back to the camera.
Whoa, this is British Vogue. This is British Vogue's post.
Peonies and inspirational quotes in millennial pink, like "Find what you love, love what you find." The aesthetic Meghan had was the defining one of the platform. But then in 2018, she logged off. It took her 7 years and a dramatic move from the UK to log back on. This time under the username of Meghan. But while the rest have moved on to a candid, darker toned photo dump style of posting, Meghan went right back to the highly saturated filteredness. And then they talk. Elise Taylor explores how Meghan Markle's Instagram presence makes her seem so harmlessly millennial.
So out of touch.
Yeah. Manuela, I just need to say apologies. I need to, in between when you're talking, I need to mute your mic, because whenever we're talking, it's looping back. So if you've got a set of headphones or anything, it will prevent that. I do apologize.
Headphones.
Yeah, no problems. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Just going back to why that video was removed. What I mean, I don't really see the necessity for it. What was so vulgar about it? I think it was quite tongue in cheek. It was fun. It made the whole situation a bit lighter. Why would she be offended by that?
Because everybody laughed, and Meghan Markle. See,
what?
When people, you didn't see that? Oh my God, you hadn't seen the post?
No, come on, wait. Why would Meghan Markle be upset about being humiliated on television by literally a gangly armed Brooke Shields just knocking her clean out. Why would you? This is the woman, right? This is the woman.
It's
okay?
funny. It's just like
is it? Funny because we're not a narcissistic overlord, okay? Like that's the worst day ever for her. That's a terrible for you and me, hilarious. But for her, oh man, that was.
Okay, I'm gonna show you something. And you will see her face because you see Meghan Markle. She doesn't have a sense of humor. She can't make fun of herself. Okay, no. This is I don't know if you're showing it, right?
Oh, I'm showing it.
It's without a sound, but just watch. This is in slow motion.
Okay.
Look, Katie Couric is even laughing. But you're gonna see Meghan is seething because her face is like. You're gonna see her do that thing that with her mouth.
I love how it just cuts to Paula pishing herself laughing right after about 3 seconds.
No, but Meghan Markle, look, and then she goes, see?
Look. The fury.
Oh yeah, the side eye, the fury.
Yeah.
He was, and we know that, and after that, she was really angry because then everybody was laughing and they moved on from her.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because did you see when Katie Couric, by the way, Katie Couric, she sold herself. Oh, Katie Couric. Oh, how about that story, Meghan? You tell that story. That was absolutely, and of course, Meghan, of course I'm going to tell it.
All right, I feel like we're reaching that time where I need to throw up the "this is all allegedly" banner. I feel like Paula's about to go off on one.
So,
I'm just legally preparing
We
us.
haven't even gotten there, buddy.
We haven't even gotten there, baby. We haven't even gotten there yet. My
we
G.
could say allegedly Meghan doesn't have a sense of humor whatsoever.
100%. You can allegedly say that she allegedly doesn't have a sense of humor. Allegedly,
Very
100%.
thin-skinned.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's paper. It's like wet tissue. I swear.
It just goes to show how she builds something out of absolutely nothing. It's just a lie. And somebody who actually has talent, who's acting at 11 years old, is reading line and memorizing and doing stuff and has built a career. And this woman is pretending to write a note and to change advertise. It's just incredible, the entitlement and the delusion.
Now,
Yes.
Ron, I want to show you something, Ron, because we're gonna make fun a little bit too. You are very good. I sent you this picture, but of course you didn't answer because you have so many things ongoing. Because I told you I'm not very good at doing things with this, right?
Okay.
But I'm going to show you this. This was supposed to be Archie during his birthday. This is supposed to be, and she did a post about it, right? Right. City?
All right. Okay. Why is that? Why? For a start. No. Who is making a freaking fence that low anywhere? Is this the murder hotel? Is this the children falling off the balcony hotel?
Europe,
A
darling.
waist height safety rail for what? How old is he?
5. He turned 6.
Yeah, one big seagull or a gust of wind, and he's over there. He's lost at sea, mate. He's gone. He's gone, mate. Nah.
No. But I want you to see something more important, Ron.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Obviously.
This
I didn't think that was the point.
is physics, right? Like we're gonna make it larger because I sent you the picture. You see, let's look at. I don't want to sound like I'm shouting. You see the how the fence is, right? Cross shaped,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Look at the shadow.
Oh, Paula. So it's AI because no one would build a fence. No one would build a safety rail that high because they're not idiots. Thank you, Paula.
Well, that's not it. That's not it.
The shadows.
The shadows are straight, are pillars, not
Yes.
squares like
I
these.
see
So
that.
if you were in the sun, the shadow that you would see will be all a bunch of squares.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've seen that.
Wow.
It was just continuing the bit, Paula. That's all. But yeah, that's a bit weird, Paula. I'm not going to.
It's a stone wall. It's not a fence, is it?
I couldn't think. It's not a wall because it's got holes in it.
No.
Which makes it a
No,
fence.
You can't
because
get
he's facing
stone
the
walls,
sun. He's
can't you?
facing the sun. So
You
whatever
can get
blocks the
stone
sun.
walls. Yes, Victoria, you can get
Like
stone
this.
walls. A favorable thing to build walls out of is stone for like thousands of years. So yeah, no, because it's got holes in it, it's a fence.
No.
Just because it's made of stone doesn't mean it's a wall.
Oh,
Is it-
right.
is
Oh,
there
It's a
room-
veranda. It's a
Whoa.
veranda, but the interesting part here is the shape of the veranda, which is like a cross, is like squares.
Yeah,
So the shadow at the
Nice.
bottom should be
Yeah.
squared.
100%.
but they're pillars, so they're made up. And on top of that, I phoned the hotel. Pidina phoned the hotel. I sent George, you'll be here, yay!
George the Giant Slayer.
I phoned the
RG.
hotel. I first sent an email and I said, hello, I'm from Norway. I would like to have exactly the same suite that the Duchess and Duke and Duchess of Sussex had when they stayed at your hotel, because it's in Mexico. This is the man who was asking for protection, and yet he's taking, and in Jalisco. Jalisco is one of the worst areas for drug trafficking in Mexico.
Paula,
So
this is quite a find, right? I mean, like, this is, and I'll tell you something else. We could easily replicate this with a piece of paper with these squares cut in it and a torch.
I sent it to you to do that.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. Maybe I'll find a torch and we'll do some science at the end of this.
I called. So I sent an email. So I said, can you please, I would like to rent. And then I waited, but I'm frantic, and I waited like for 20 minutes and they didn't reply. So I called, and then I got Carla on the phone. Carla, her name is Carla. And I said, hello, I'm calling because I would like to rent the same suite that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex had. I did a video about it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then she goes, first of all, it wasn't a suite. It was a private villa, and it cost $7,700 a night. Like, she was being a little bit snooty. Then I said, that's not a problem for me. I just want the whole experience. And she goes, oh, that's okay. Oh, that's great. But she says, unfortunately, those have been closed since March and for maintenance, and they will be open on July 4th. But let me remind you that, and it's true, because it's the rainy season here in Mexico and Central America. And so it's going to be raining. And then from October, we have hurricane season. And so I said, but I want it now. But I said, what do you mean it's closed? They just posted that they were there last week, because Meghan Markle posted this on May 6th, thanking people for coming to Archie's birthday, implying that they had a birthday there, right? And she said, no, that wasn't this year. They came last year. And I said, well, that's fine. I still want the suite. And she says, well, we can book it after July 4th, because, as I said, it's been closed since March for maintenance. But we can offer you the casitas, which are worth over $2,000. And I said, I don't want the casitas. I want the same experience. And then I said to her, and I want the same nannies that they use for their kids, because I have 3 kids. And if the nannies are good enough for the Duke and Duchess, then and I want it for me. And they said, well, we do provide that service at an additional cost, and we can send you like the CVs of the nannies. And I said, well, I want the same nannies. You don't have to send me the CV, because I want the same nannies they use. And then she said to me, well, they didn't come with children, so I can't tell you which nannies. They came with another couple.
Oh. See,
So
there's
now
nothing more. There's
people
nothing
didn't
more.
believe me. So I gave the phone number to Pidina, and Pidina also called, right?
Yeah, honestly,
And they offered her the same thing.
I tell you, the reason why you go on websites now and you try and contact companies and there's no phone number is because of Paula M. The most dangerous thing to any company is
no. But not only that,
the
she
service
sent
number.
me by email. She sent me the email, and I showed the email she sent me with the name of the place they were, and she even highlighted in yellow that the villas were closed. And
all right,
then
let me press you then. So what do you think we're looking at here? I mean, personally, if you were to put a fully grown adult next to that child, that railing, banister, wall, whatever we want to call it, is a actual death trap. I mean, I've never seen anything as ridiculous as that in my life. Now, so what are we saying? Do we think this is AI, partial AI?
Is this Photoshop?
Photoshop. Well, now no. We're no one photoshops anything now. We're just using AI. All right, it might be a hybrid of the two, but trust me, it'll be, because if you're doing it in Photoshop, no one's messing up those lattices, because you're just duplicating the pattern, rotating it, placing it down, expanding it, and then adjusting opacity to create a shadow effect.
Okay, I can show you. Okay, I'm going to show you something that's going to blow you away, because I found this. Okay, because I searched the internet, and there's this guy who went to the hotel there, right?
Okay.
So I'm going to show you this, right? Are you showing this now?
Okay. Yep. So we've got. There we go.
Yeah. This is the hotel, and this is the guy.
Oh man! They do have murder railings. Okay, so the railings are real. Okay, so that is just mad.
Oh, no, it is real. I have even the pictures of the house. They sent me the email. Everything is real.
Wow. Okay, all right.
But this is the height. This is the height of it. It's like I actually took a screenshot because he does a video. I have the email from the girl, and it shows you the house. It shows everything. The railing is real.
I just want to clarify what
Here,
a
there's
fence
the guy.
is
Look at
and what a
these-
railing is.
Look.
Can I just ask, right? Of all the videos that Paula's managed to find, she finds one with a fit guy with a six-pack. She's got her head tilted sideways right now. Can I just point this out? What's happening here right now?
He's definitely gay, surely.
Oh, he's not. Why you have to burn
be.
my thing? You know, I just had
Oh God, I missed this so much. Okay, so all right,
it's real.
all right.
The hotel is real. I have it. I have the email and I have everything that they sent me. And then and this is supposed to be Lilibet on Mother's Day. She's taller than Archie, and she's supposed to be 3 years old.
Oh, I don't know if I'm ready because I'm telling you now, I could just sit here and rant for the next 20 minutes on this. Like, what is going on with these kids? Sorry, on you go, Victoria.
No, I was just saying, I'm really, really blown away because I always thought a fence was either something that was wooden or plastic. And I'm completely thrown off now because I would have just called that a stone wall.
Yeah, well, listen.
Apparently not. That's not the case. I mean, how have I not known this all my life?
Well, listen. I was just throwing out my thoughts here. But the kids, right? The Chat GPT and all the scandals they brought up, right? There was there was something about the kids, and I'm just trying to find it just now. But are we seeing any signs? Have we seen anything since the last royal mess, Paula? This goes to all of you. That is putting an end to the mystery around these kids, because apparently there was a photograph where the little girl's face was hidden, and the internet was talking about the possibility that we're building up to a face reveal and all of this. I don't get how we're still in this debate all this time on. I don't get it.
I don't think the recent video she released with her dancing and twerking with the crinkled belly has really helped the conspiracy around it, because that does not look like a pregnant belly at all.
Listen, I tell you what, it's very simple, right? I've just had a baby.
Video up, watch it.
I just had a baby last year, right? And the thought of Dan twerking, right, and then surviving that heavily pregnant, it's you're limited. Unless you're Meghan Markle, of course, you can freaking be 9 months pregnant and be doing squats with your foot pressed together.
It's not just the moving and the how she can just be that nimble and be that flexible, that heavily pregnant. It's just look at the shape of the stomach. If it's June, it's hot, so you're not going to be wearing layers and layers of clothing. So why is there this crinkled belly that can move? It's not rigid, which is the baby's always rigid at that point. If it's fat, you can move it. But
even worse. This is something even worse, because I called the hospital because it was during COVID. Everybody forgot that it was during COVID.
Oh wow!
And I had this. I did a video with Scott Rouse, and then Scott Rouse went into, and I saw that he did another. I did an interview with Scott, and then I saw that he did it with Kinsey, right? And then I sent him. And I said, everybody forgets that this is supposed to be, and I'm sharing this with you right now, Ron.
Okay.
Everybody forgets that this is supposed to be during COVID. So I phoned the hospital, and this is the guidelines during COVID, and they were kind of loosened after June 15th, but only for open spaces. This is the hospital that Meghan claims to have given birth, right?
Yeah, okay.
This says that they had to wear masks at all times, even inside the rooms, because the rooms were not sterile rooms. They were not what they call, because there were still the ventilation.
Yep.
Throughout the hospital. So wearing masks is a requirement to maintain visitor privileges. Okay. And then what happened is, after, because some of the staff they didn't even have the cafeteria. You know how Harry said he sent his bodyguards to come in and bring food from outside? they wouldn't even have
Nando's?
allowed them there because yes. And then I called the hospital, and I mean, unfortunately, I did my live with Winning Communication, and I showed that I talked to them, but he had to blacken the names because when you call, they put you through to the doctors. And then what happened is that they ended up putting me through the person because they have received calls from a lot of angry parents because you see Harry and Meghan dancing like that. It's against I have the video and I slowed it. I'm going to put it up. It's against COVID violations.
Just look at Harry, right?
And not only that, so Meghan claims that she was late, right?
Right, yeah, I'm with you.
So she would have had to be induced, which means I'm gonna share the video because I slowed it down and all kinds of crap here.
Oh yeah, share the video. Lady Letitia, how are you? Can we just get a Lady Letitia nail check just before we continue? Oh hell yeah! Let me see what we got going on here today. Oh hell yeah! We got the square pointed. We got some color fade. We got some jewels. Girl is on point. Great to have you here, Letitia. Lovely to see you again. We will get to your intro. In fact, just say hello. Just say hello quickly. I thought you'd cut out there.
You're on mute. You're
muted. You're muted. Oh wait, hang on. No, you need to unmute yourself. There we go, Letitia. You got this.
Hello, everyone. It's so good to see you guys. Oh my God, I missed you. Oh,
we missed you guys. I missed all you guys, honestly. Missed all you guys. So it's great to have you back. But look, we're just in the middle of a top tier Paula rant, and it's a banger. So let me just bring Paula back.
That's the Frogmore dance.
No. I'm showing you the video. Show the video that I have there.
I'm fixing it, Paula. Give me a second. I've only got one mouse and one hand to click on it. Okay, just give me a second.
There we go. Okay. So what this is that you're gonna see Harry. None of them are wearing masks, and I got a lot of idiots saying, "Oh, but they were allowed because they were in the room." No, they weren't. And I actually have a picture of a couple. That the husband was not even asked to stay because at some point they had almost 17,000 cases just in Santa Barbara alone. So they wouldn't even allow the husbands or anybody. It was just essential personnel. And their whole purpose of it all was to get them in and out as fast, to limit staying overnight if possible, because it was a risk. So Meghan Markle claims.
Let's not forget how tight everything was for the staff. As well, it's not just about they're in the room, they'll be safe. It's to protect the staff, the doctors, all of that. It's not just a personal thing. That's a really good point, Paula. Because
this is what the hospital said. The hospital said that especially now, if she had, and this is what they told me. I can't show you the email because they said, and this is what they told me when I called, that this video was not filmed in 2021. They can guarantee. And they're not violating doctor because this was not a visit to the doctor or anything like that, right? And this is what they said to me that would have happened if she was a mother who was late, that she had to be induced. It said that they would have had to induce her. She would have given intravenous oxytocin. The amniotic membrane would have been torn to induce cramping. The amniotic sac would have been ruptured, or a balloon catheter would have been used, which would have been excruciatingly painful, right? And even with a wireless monitor, she would still be bedridden and in pain because they're inducing. And the only way that she could avoid that would be to have an epidural. But back then, they were trying not to give epidurals because they wanted them in and out. And if they give you an epidural, you would have to overnight. In any case, in this video, you would see she claims that she was a week late. She's geriatric. She's claimed that she's had postpartum preeclampsia. And, the proper wise guy, he found an amazing thing because she's not wearing a hospital gown. She's not wearing a mask. The cannula or the IV is not where it should go. She's wearing full-on jewelry. And the proper wise guy showed that she's wearing black high heels.
Yes, I saw that too. She was wearing heels. He slowed it down in slow motion.
There she
showed
goes.
us the heels.
Welcome, George the Giant Slayer. How are you? Welcome,
George.
How are you, my man?
Great. How are you doing? Glad to be here. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Victoria, Ron, Lady Letitia. How
Yeah,
you doing?
man. Great to see you, brother. Is that Lofi's hat on the wall behind you?
Yes.
Nice. We'll talk about that later. But great to have you, George. We've just sort of been listening to some of Paula's great points on the twerking videos and mask wearing. We're sort of going over the highlights of the shenanigans of these two since our last show, and it's great to have you here. And I'm sure you've got something to point out with the twerking video and the masks and all of it. Because I mean, what a great video to surface, right? Nothing more cringe than two parents trapped to work who are apparently pregnant.
Absolutely. I mean, come on. It's like for the last few years, I was on Paula for the last few weeks. I was talking about the fact that I stayed away from the whole pregnancy controversy. But then once I saw that video, I mean, it's like, and you see a moon bum doing the Macarena trying to recreate the Great Escape. It's like, come on. Well, we're not fools at this point. There's no way that that's real. And especially I've been in medicine. I was in the medical field for 25 years. That doesn't look like nothing in there looks real. The jewelry, no hospital gown. Instead, you got a black moon from the spirit of Halloween. Yeah, you have no monitors, blood pressure cuffs. And this is in mid 2021 during the peak of COVID. Are you kidding? It's like, not possible.
Yeah. Because I had a baby around COVID, and I only could have my husband in the room. Nobody could visit.
Yeah.
You had to have on mask. It was really secured. Like you couldn't be walking around the hospital like that without a mask. I had to have on a mask when they came and was checking my blood and everything. Like it was serious.
I mean, if you're in labor as well, you're having contractions, right? So there's however near you are, there's a few. They get fewer and fewer far between. So would you be feeling like you want to dance while you're having contractions? And also, isn't there a level of anxiety around the fact that you're having a baby in COVID? And there's that really like heavy atmosphere in hospitals at that time, especially in England. I don't know what it was like in California. But it must have felt like a really unknown and terrifying experience. And they just seem like they're at a disco at Frogmore Cottage or something, having a dance.
Oh, that's very nice.
There's no strain. There's no stress, right? Exactly. They're too happy. They're too relaxed.
They don't seem anxious at all,
No, you just got two girls looking like they're dancing on a stripper pole.
Yeah.
Are you
care in the world?
Are you saying
it's laundry under her dress?
Oh, that is right. Wow.
That is not a pregnant body.
That's
wow.
That's like an alien popping out of
There's
her.
no way. There's no way this is real. This is not a video. This is
insane.
Even the cannula. Even the cannula on her other arm, if you look at the position of the cannula where it's at,
it's coming, don't worry.
Oh, the way that she bends the wrist. Yeah, it's not possible the way she bends her wrist.
And her hands are not swollen. Full on jewelry, necklace.
Not allowed. None of that is allowed.
Look at the bump there. Look at that. That's completely.
But her body is growing all wrong. Her body's all wrong. Like her breasts are not enlarged. Her arms are not right. It's not pregnant.
So is this meant to be her ready to give birth?
Yeah, right. Allegedly.
Sorry, what is that? Oh my word, this is a banger. Who cares about whatever else they've done? This is the whole show tonight. What is that? What is that? What is that, mate?
Look at
who can do that with their belly?
Boobs look.
She has no boobs for a pregnant woman.
Do you know what? She needs to see a doctor if that's what her pregnant belly looks like. She needs a doctor now. Wow.
Yeah, that bump. Come on.
I mean, George, you've. I mean, we're all women, guys. I mean, there we go. And she goes down. Oh, the worst part hasn't come yet. Here we go. Look at the belly. Look at the belly. Oh yeah, that's the Duchess.
Right. Have you've seen other videos, Paula? I know you have because you do great research. When you look at the videos of other women who did this at a similar time when they were doing these dances, you'll notice that most of them like move for a second. They're like, oh, my back, oh, my hand. I can't go low because it's actual pain. You got a bowling ball that's about to pop out and they can't move. They're in pain.
What are you watching?
Well, not only that, You can't because your waist is so stretched. You don't have that movement. I have it here. I can show it to you. I can show it. Oh, there you go. Look at that. You would have peed yourself. I'm sorry.
Oh
Doing
my
that,
God.
you would have peed yourself.
You would have peed yourself. That's a good point. There's a lot of pregnant accidental peeing going on, and this looks like peeing juice and movements to me. That's all I'm saying.
Let me show you the one. Let me show you the one. Let me show you the one that George is saying, because George, I mean, we're all mothers, guys. We know what that means. You know, here's the one. This is one of the trends. You can see this lady is in full.
Yeah, here we go. All right, okay.
She's in full. She's in gown. You know, like, and look at her. Okay, you're gonna see her.
Limited movement. That you can't do much. I mean, it's like
that still seems excessive. Do you know what I'm saying? She's doing it well, but you can tell that this is the full range of movement.
If you're going to drop to the floor, you're not going to be able to get back up. Doesn't matter how flexible you are.
Now look, one thing I want to point out is the movements that woman was doing in Meghan, right? But it wasn't so much the movements the other woman was doing; it was the amount of care and the slow movements. There was nothing designed to be whipping round or dropping down, because it's a bit of fun and you don't want to put your child at risk. She looked like she was having a bit of fun, but at the forefront of her mind was not to, drop down to the floor and twerk where she could, potentially injure herself or the baby. And that made sense to me. Meghan's full video. Oh, Paula's put it back up. Yes. I hadn't seen this full video. I had just seen the tiny clip. Put this.
I would have peed myself there. I would have peed myself. That humping, you pee yourself, especially
Paula,
when she's a week over
You're nervous. You're
Paula,
scared.
rewind it right to the beginning. Play this bad boy again, because this is that. What is that?
Yeah.
What is
By
that?
the way, look here. There's other people in the room because Harry's here.
Okay, because so
she's looking straight at the camera, and then you're gonna see she's gonna look at somebody else in the room. See?
Yeah.
Look. There, she looks at somebody else in the room.
Yeah, that's
Harry.
That's baby daddy or surrogate mama. Surrogate mama. That's who it is.
Somebody telling her what to do, how they're gonna do it.
It's the film.
Oh, she's looking at Harry.
Okay.
it's Netflix.
They renewed the contract. They're renewing her contract. Netflix.
No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. The contract expired in March, and basically what they have right now is that they're just like anybody else. If you have a project, pitch it. If we like it, we'll look at it.
Yeah, they're waiting for the divorce. That's why they're trying to keep arm's length agreement.
See, look at her necklace. Look at her necklace.
And denial.
Look at the necklace.
Yeah, I don't like it when she makes eye contact with me when she's dancing like this through this video. I'm not.
Look at that. Like George says, this is you don't put that there.
No, because you would stop the fluids every time she bends her wrist. It's not possible. But we also haven't talked about the frog formerly known as Prince. You're talking about the son of a king of the British realm. Is looking like he's ready to throw $20 bills at her. He's a fool.
Yes.
Come on, that to me is ridiculous.
I actually like to believe that Harry didn't know that it was a moon bump too. Like he's that much of a dumbass that he just doesn't know. Like I could imagine that, because what is that? What is that?
It's terrible move bump. It's gonna come out of it. It looked like Sigourney Weaver. I don't know if I'm very old, so I watched the first Alien. I think I go with the first Alien. When it's coming out, that's what it looks like.
She's the first woman in history, right, to have a pregnant belly that seems to also have like an overhang, like an unfit individual. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, why is she scooping it from where her lady area is and not from the top of her pelvis? Like, it's.
And look at all the jewelry, though. Look at all the jewelry. She's not wearing a gown, and she's wearing high heels.
Yeah, I heard that the baby came out with a freaking a set of her mother's jewelry on. That's how much jewelry she wears. Do you know what I'm saying? She's not going to leave the house without £200,000 on an arm.
You can't do that movement. You can't do that movement in your waist because your back is so tight.
Yeah, exactly.
And what about your emotional and physical state? Are you going to be a week late, jumping around and happy, just like, hey? It's like
I was scared.
Also, just to play devil's advocate, right? there is, they do say to you, if you're struggling with birth and things like that, they kind of go around and bounce. Not, however, not
during COVID. Not during COVID. They didn't allow it. They induced the birth. They said that to me at the hospital. This and I mean, I will send you the screenshots and I'll send you the thing from my phone.
No, Paula,
and I have the names of the doctors.
It wasn't that deep a comment. I was just saying the doctors don't tell you to twerk in an aggressive fashion around your room. They tell you to jiggle your belly a little bit and your bump a little bit.
They tell you eat spicy. They tell you what to eat. They try different things. My point is her expressions on her face. It's very rare that I've seen women who were a week past due that also had the propensity for postpartum eclampsia to smile and be beaming, pain, exertion, sweat, oh my God.
Honestly, I'm not going to lie. It's the dragging of the dress up of her legs when she's doing the lower grinding section. It looks way too much like a well-versed skill set of hers. Like she was dancing there. She was back very well. She was back in the club. She was going back to her heyday, and she was whipping out the freaking dollar-making moves. And then in comes the crab man from freaking stage left to come and do his little sideways step. Wild. I freaking love this. I'm so glad we're back. Like and subscribe, everyone.
Desperate.
But you know what's insane? You know what's insane? That the newspaper reporters, like I was saying, I'm so angry with GB News because I did my video yesterday because Lilibet used to have her own little profile on the website. Yep. Because I'm always scouting the website. Suddenly I see it gone. But I thought maybe they took it down for maintenance or maybe they're updating it with a new picture. But it's gone. So I did my video on it. And then today, GB News, it's got this literally copying my thing. And it says, I'm sharing it with you right now.
This week on What Journalists Steal Paula's Work.
Like that.
Say that again, Leticia. Sorry.
Why do you think she was doing that? For attention? Or why would she show that picture at all?
For everyone.
Britain has called her a hooker.
I think for this, exactly for this, I'm sure she and Harry have a treasure trove of videos that are going on right now that they've stacked up in case of break, in case of emergency. So anytime that they're not getting the headlines they want, because remember, when you have this type of malignant narcissist, you're not talking about someone who thinks rationally or emotionally the way we do, in harmony with their family, with who they are, with their perception. It's all about objectives. It's all about goals. What do they want to reach? So okay, last week we had 20 headlines on the front page. This week we only had 2. Okay. What are we going to do? What's going on with Netflix? Because especially ever since that statement came out, the one that was supposed to be that Ted Sarandos supposedly said, she's Netflix's rock star. She needs to keep that momentum going. And they have no cringe. I'm surprised she wasn't at the LA riots passing out business cards. Have Moon Dump will travel.
Right. He said that we're underestimating Meghan in that article.
Mm-hmm.
George.
No, but wait a minute.
Underestimating her.
No, we have to correct that because it wasn't him being quoted directly. Right. It's sources, which I believe the sources are Meghan Markle. It's not that they went and talked to Ted Sarandos. It's sources say
that he said it.
But Ted Sarandos hasn't said that, and I believe that is Meghan Markle who's putting these out because she's trying. They haven't signed a deal with her.
They're not relevant. Yeah, Paula, I agree with you. They're not relevant anymore. And so this is what you call the last desperate gasp. That's why I really believe the next year, the last thing that they're going to do in the end, I will swear it's going to be an old sex tape. I really believe it. Paula and I talked about this. Paula and I, we talked about this. It's going to be the last thing. Going to go the Kim Kardashian route. Not something new.
Listen, just since George organically introduced that into the chat, put a 1 in the side chat if you would like us to re-upload the Royal Mess where we interviewed Kevin Blatt, who is, of course, Hollywood's SEX tape broker. He's the one who brokered the deal for Paris. He's the one who broke the deal for the Kardashians. He's the one that broke the deals for them all. And by Jove, does he not have, or has he not seen a very suspicious tape with a very interesting lady in it wearing some very interesting jewelry that could only have possibly come from one?
I can show it. I have it.
I've got
I
it too.
have it on demand.
Yeah, he's got it on demand.
You know,
Listen,
I keep putting it because I'm friends with Kevin. Like
Kevin's awesome.
I always watch him on Instagram and stuff like that, and we talk once in a while. But he is the guy who Kris Jenner. He's the guy who was sued by Paris Hilton, and he lost. He said, "You remember that he lost because he had to pay her 20 million." And then he goes, "Well, I wasn't worried because." They know I don't have 20 million. If the judge had said 100,000, I would have been worried because then I would have had to come up with that kind of money. Is more realistic. And then Kris Jenner came and said that Kris Jenner came to him with the Kim Kardashian thing, right? And while he was thinking about it, because he said she's no Paris Hilton, and he looked at the tape and it was actually quite boring. But he said, let me sleep on it. But Kris was just desperate to get the tape out, so she went to this other guy who ended up leaking it. So he's a fixer. So he has the credentials. And
well, yeah, 100% he does. But I'll speak to Sean. If it's too risky for the Sean Atwood channel, we'll stick it up on my channel before next week's Royal Mess on Thursday. So it'll come in before that episode, and then you'll just be pushed straight into the live episode. Because why not? Paul and I, we've got like a year's worth of pre-recorded stuff that got vaporized, and we've got some great interviews in there. So we'll get to those ones. But that's a juicy one. That's a juicy one for next week, 100%. Organically introduced by George there. That was perfectly done.
But do you think they'll do it? But who would want to see Harry doing it? Can you imagine Harry's next face?
Listen, no, I'm sorry. Publicly, we can all say, oh no, I would never watch that. Soon as you get home and no one's around, you are going to watch that.
I would watch it.
Of course you would. We would all watch it.
Because you have to think about what does it create for the Meghans. It creates the ability for them to have almost a 90 to 120 day PR campaign where she goes, look what would happen to us. Someone broke into our home, someone stole it, a private moment, the same thing that happened to me in the UK. She's going to whip up this whole virtue signaling victimhood grip.
Yes.
There's going to be a plan to it. That's at least my belief.
George, I did a deep dive on one of your videos. I told my subscribers to go over there and subscribe to you too.
Oh,
so hopefully they
and watch the woke monologues. Watch the woke monologues, because the woke monologues are basically, you basically nailed why we have Blake Lively, Jada, Meghan, even that idiot Harry. And it applies not only to celebrities, it goes to politicians, it goes to everything. It's this wokeness that nobody's held accountable for anything. I mean, people are not asking this woman, George, you were 25 years. Were you still in the medical profession when COVID hit?
No, because I had already started. Well, it was kind of like at the tail end of it. It was right when I started YouTube and I was transitioning out of it. I was getting out of it.
Oh.
So, yeah. Thank you, though. No, it was horrible. I think that was one of the reasons that kind of like pushed me to completely get out of it. All the protocols and everything we had to do, even in Texas, I was like, this is insane. But thank you, Paula, for mentioning. I think you're my greatest.
No, I mean, I love that. I love that. And it's amazing. So, but no, I mean, one of the things that I wanted to mention, because I did a video and I believe that Meghan Markle started going hard on the baby thing after I did the video of the birth certificate, because even what's his name? Dan Wooten wouldn't feature my video, right? Because I mean, this was something that somebody pointed out to me. And then P. Dinah went and looked at her birth certificates, and everybody was looking at their birth certificates because I didn't know. So I went and I phoned, how I am, Ron, and then I sent an email, and then I got an email. So this is the thing that I got, and I'm going to show you, because this is the thing that people sent to me here. If you share that.
I'm sharing it.
Because the people are like going like, what? And I said, look at the numbers on the left. And I'm like, why should I look at any numbers? I don't understand. And then P. Dinah, and anybody in the United States, apparently, at least P. Dinah, she said that when she got it, it says there that in the documents, you have to check that both the parents' names are the mother's maiden name and the father's original name. They do not accept titles. They can put that as a profession. For example, Harry could have called himself Prince of the United Kingdom as a profession. But titles are not allowed in any birth certificates. Even, for example, former presidents or anybody, royalty, you can put as a profession that. And you can see here, the Duke of Sussex is his first name, and the last name is His Royal Highness. but you see Rachel Meghan Markle. That is not allowed. But then the people kept pointing the numbers at me, and I'm like, what is that? What does that mean, right? And these are the birth certificates that are posted by the newspapers, because I requested it many times and I haven't been able to get it. Bookworm has tried to get it. P. Dinah tried to get it, and we still get the same response. I don't know if you're sharing this. And then here it comes. This is a government website. This is any government website you go will tell you this. This is the Social Security. It tells you reviewing a birth certificate birth area code. And since 1948, most states registers use a uniform numbering system, right? And then it tells you here that, and then they say that you have to verify any birth certificate before you take it out. And if you make a mistake, this thing in blue here is that you click on it and there's a way for you to correct it, okay, free of charge. But then they give you the list of birth area code numbers, right? And it tells you that California is 104 and Colorado is 105, right? And
Okay.
then they tell you that there were some states that were different numbers, but then they changed them, right? And they give you all the info and stuff like that.
These
right?
numbers are relevant to the destination in the States. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, for example, if you were born in Alabama, then you start with 101, except
I'm with
for
you.
example,
Yep.
except what's it called? Pennsylvania. They use a 7-digit number. And this is from, I don't know if it's August 5th or May 8th, 2010 till present, right? So now if you look and I'm like, okay, but I still didn't get it, right? So the person said, just look at the numbers, and because I was being stupid. And then you go here. You see this?
Okay.
It's 105.
Okay.
which is
So
Colorado.
okay. So just break it down again. So we've got 105, which is for Colorado, and what should it be?
104.
104. Freaking Hawkeye. I freaking love you, Paula. This is the one right here.
Yeah, but I wanted to make people understand that this is not my information. This is what's in the government's website.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. Honestly, the government thought they could pull one over on Paula, but they don't know what Paula can do. They don't know what she can do. I'm telling you.
Are we saying that Lilibet was born in Colorado?
I don't know where she was born, but then again, and I said in my video, it could be a mistake because again, they tell you in the website that they make mistakes because these are now input by hand, right? People said that they used to input them like automatically, but they don't, because the last 6 numbers are the numbers that are minimum at least 6 numbers. Basically, the order on which the child was born at that time, right? Do you know what I mean? The sequential order. She was child number X, born that year in 2021, right? I don't know if I'm explaining myself.
No, you're good. Hey, listen. You had me at the numbers wrong. You had me there. Like to me, that seems the most common part of this.
Yeah, but then again, in my video, I said it could have been a clerical error because it does happen, which is why they give you ways to correct it.
Sure, but I mean, it would just. We could probably write off user error if it wasn't for the moon bump theory, if it wasn't for the suspiciousness around the birth, if there wasn't 100 other things that make little things like this, convenient errors, stand out in a way that I think is prevalent. I think that is a really, really good point, because clerical user error is the foundation of most lies and conspiracies. Okay, if you're behind them, because it's a fantastic one. But
to me, it's amazing that the palace,
Yep.
MI6, and Parliament would not verify errors and these things before putting a child in the line of succession, because that is easily amended. You just have to fill out a form, and sometimes they will ask you to provide documentation from the hospital in order to verify you were born there. But what really shocked me is that I did my video, and then Dan highlighted it, and then it's one of his most viewed videos in his platform right now. But then people try to discredit me as though this is my information when I was showing information that's from the government. And then they were saying that there's a document.
No, with you.
To me, is the need to discredit And I was always very surprised. Like, I'm going to show you this here because and it's like people don't want to look into it. And after I did this video, it wasn't after I posted it. It was after Dan questioned it. Then this woman, Liz Jones, came and said, "Oh, why should Meghan and they're trolls there, blah, blah, blah." It wasn't the mainstream media.
So it has been covered. Yeah. So there you go. So just so the people that are in the side chat are like, "Oh, where's Paula getting this from?" I mean, Paula's proves time and time again there she pulls out facts. But here's some other sources to back it up.
Yeah.
George, what's your take on the number thing? Where does it land with you? How can you?
Well, I find it has credibility when you put it together with all of the facts, especially with Paula. I trust her implicitly. When she digs something up, she digs it up. The question that I've always had is why has the Crown, if they have known about this, again, they have MI6, MI5 that work with them, they know they can get any information they want. Why have they not used this information to keep Harry and Meghan in line? It's like, okay, look, guys, you're either going to behave. That was the thing that was always holding me back, that I didn't want to come out and say, you know, that kid is, you know, is not hers. But when you saw the moon bump, I'm like, it's not possible anymore. I still don't understand why the Crown hasn't used it to control them or to say, step in line or we're going to release this. That's it.
I don't think they want. I'm so far past wondering what the Crown is doing with these two now, right?
But courtiers, I mean, you're talking about how many staff? Someone on Prince William, Princess Catherine, someone somewhere can pop this whole bubble right open. I mean, I know you think even to protect their crown, you know, it's like, look, we're going to do this for the king. We're going to do this for the country. Let's just take care of this. I mean, someone to whisper into their ear, behave.
You know, Ron, if you can post the link I sent you in the private chat, because this is the government's link. People think I didn't make this website up. And I wrote, I showed the emails that I got the information from, and they sent me those links because I reached out to them saying by mistake, my son had a different birth code. So what do I do? And the woman was like, "Oh, you don't have to worry. All you have to do is just follow this link and you'll correct it." This is a government website. You can put it there. I can show you many websites, and they will all give you the same information. Okay, so because people are saying, "Oh, it says 106." No, these are for the birth area codes. This is specific to the birth area code, and the way they do that is that to identify where you come from. For example,
it makes sense. If anyone wants to question it or investigate it further, you go and do that. We're having too much fun here for you to pull poor Paula into an administrative PowerPoint presentation. It's freaking, and it's a royal mess. And I tell you something else, Paula. Okay, it's so good to be back. Now, has anybody else got any points want to make on this? I want to throw us on to our next topic about Meghan.
Yeah, I agree with Paula on this. That she did some great research in finding out about Lily's birth certificate. Way to go, Paula.
Oh yeah,
she's amazing.
Brilliant. I agree. I also think that's very interesting because the numbers cannot be random. I don't think you just have the area code or the state that you're born in. I bet you'd also, if you break down your birth certificate, just like your driver's license, there's going to be more information, male, female, maybe something else about the date or the time. And so if somebody knows more about how these numbers are laid out, you could probably really see who does that number really belong to.
Almost like a creepy little
sense. Almost your identity.
Almost creepily like a number under a barcode, right? You know what I'm saying?
It's your barcode. It is your barcode, right? That's your barcode of where you're from, where your date, your the date that you were made, and doesn't have your expiry date though. It just has your date of inception.
100% agree.
And location.
100% agree. But then also, again, look at the people we're talking about. I mean, not only is it Paula's research, because she's able to dig up some amazing stuff, but then you put it in context with these individuals. Remember how we said before how they described how they buried the miscarriage under a palm tree, which nobody does that. Nobody does that.
You don't get your miscarriage. I had a miscarriage. You don't get to keep that. That is not allowed.
Neither. I didn't get to keep my girls when I miscarried them, and they were almost 6 months pregnant. You know, and I had to actually, when I lost my girls, this was in 2013. I was pregnant with twins, and I miscarried them, and I wasn't allowed to keep them. I mean, the doctor, you know, like I went to the clinic and I saw I could make funeral arrangements and stuff like that, because they were over a certain period of time, over 20 weeks. And then, they're not going to give you that. And George, you're working health. You know that is.
Yeah, no, I know that. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. The bags, there are special supplies for that. That's not possible. It's illegal. The biological material and biohazard. There's no way they could do that. I don't care who they were, how much, because the hospital could lose its license, get fined, all the regulations. It's never going to happen. But when you put these facts the same way, you remember in the book, Paula, I think there was a line where a passage where Harry had stated when he was on some training in the UK and his father was in his Audi, he had radioed the commander of a plane to do a flyby past him. It's like I had done a whole video about this after Spare came out, and you're listening to him, and especially in the audiobook, he's like, yes, the whatever plane it was flew past his father's Audi as it was driving and cracked his window. I'm like, so you're going to tell me that they took orders from Harry on the radio in a training mission to do a flyby past the prince at the time and cracked his window, and that's allowed? Come on, it's like,
no.
They're not believable. It doesn't hold water, because everybody would have been court-martialed. Come on, you mean you're going to try to commit attempted assassination? They're not going to play games with that.
No, it's baloney, George. Right. It's baloney, right? And I reserve that word for the rarest of shenanigans. Okay, and that's what the reaction is. It's baloney. It's baloney. But look, I need to get your views. I need to get your views on something here, right? So when you think to yourself, I've been working hard, I want to relax. Okay, it's time to treat myself to maybe a weekend away, and you think to yourself, how can I find somewhere that meets my standards? I'm somebody who wants good food. I want to sleep well, and I just want to say to everyone that we have finally reached a point where Meghan is adding hotels and restaurants to her brand. I, for one, am relieved. I've been concerned about my next trip. That I wasn't going to be able to find a place that would be of the level that I would want to, spend time in. So let's just get some facts on this. Meghan reportedly gearing up. Can you imagine? Do you remember that movie Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was gearing up in the movie? I imagine that's what Meghan's like, with just a notepad and pen with that music on in the morning doing her brainstorming. So Meghan Markle is reportedly gearing up to take her As Ever brand to a new levels. On June 8th, The Sun reported that the Duchess of Sussex, 43, is trademarking As Ever for hospitality services. She just loves trademarking stuff. Maybe that's just her fetish. You know what I'm saying? In trademark terms, genuinely covers a broad category of offerings related to providing accommodations, food, and experiences. Essentially, the service side of a hotel, restaurant, and tourist industries. The spokesperson for the Duchess of Sussex said she did not immediately respond to people's requests for comment. Expanding into hospitality services aligns perfectly with Meghan's long-standing passion for food. I've seen her cooking toast. Whoever's telling me to stop shouting, turn your volume down because it's about to get real for a minute here. She got good toast. Okay, we watched her Netflix series. I've seen it. She can't do it.
You watched it?
Oh man, Letitia, I tried to make a video busting her chops, and I got so heavily bitch slapped by the YouTube algorithm for copyrights. I think the only country it would show it in was Russia. Right? Apparently, that was the only place. Right? Usually, Russia is the top one to get everything removed from it. Okay, expanding into hospitality again, aligns with Meghan's long-standing passion for food, entertaining. Who's she entertained? I've seen multiple clips of this woman online, and she's only entertaining for ways she doesn't want to be entertaining. Okay, like I could sit and do Meghan's back catalog of crushed, unironed fashion choices for 2 hours. Okay, it's fabulous. But what? Oh man, look at this with love, Meg. This was so good. Like the memes that came from this were so good, and I just can't get my head around it. Who's buying this?
Nobody.
No one.
Who's buying it, George? Right?
No one.
I would understand if Harry was like Jeff Bezos and this was his quirky mad wife. who was like, "Oh, hey, Basie baby, I wanted a cookbook, Basie. Can you give me a Netflix show, Basie? It'd be an Amazon Prime show. Oh, the Prime shows would be littered with her if it was Bezos' husband. But you could understand that because you're like, oh, eccentric lady, look at the twerking. We get it, Bezos, right? But no, who's buying this?
No one. I think that's the other reason why you don't have restock.
Right.
Oh,
how you gonna? You know what she said, George? She said it's annoying, to have to restock. Annoying.
A business. I know, a business. It's like, oh, I want to run a business and become a billionaire, but I don't want to actually run the business.
That's right. That's because the crazy women made 15 pots of jam.
Netflix is the one that owns it, if I'm mistaken.
They're partnered. Yeah, they're partnered with them. Remember, that's why I said you can always tell how much faith a company has. A partner. Netflix is their partner, right? Except for the fact that the two Netflix Bites restaurants, one at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, which has like Bridgerton Tea. They take all their shows, like the Worldwide Wrestling, and they got the Worldwide Wrestling Smash Burger, Bridgerton Tea, all these hit shows, and they turn them into recipes.
Yeah.
With Love Meghan in any of their restaurants.
Yeah, listen, man, I fully agree with you. There's so much marketable merchandise crossovers for restaurants, even just down to the fast food side of things. There's so much crossover. And yeah, I mean, it's bonkers to think how bad they've got this so consecutively. And honestly, I just hope, because here's the thing, George, she doesn't like to restock because the crazy woman sat in her kitchen one day, made 15 pots of jam, called business, launched a website, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, we need 5,000 pots of jam. And she's like, well, actually, that sounds like a lot of time in the kitchen. And she just never bothered. How not to launch a business? Oh, and P. Dinah's here as well now. How are you, P. Dinah? How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very, very well. I've got a very sore eye. So the camera's off and I'm in the dark. But other than that, I'm doing great. We've been covering the highlights up until this point, P. Dinah. The things that have sort of gone on. To be honest, that was the plan. But the twerking video took us an hour to just process that. And when you see the full length of it, I'm sorry. That is the best evidence for what the hell has she got underneath that dress. That ain't a baby bump. It looked like a bag of laundry. You know what it looks like? You know when you ball up socks? You take your socks off and you kind of ball them together. It looked like a balled up sock, all right? And it kind of blew us away. And now, P. Dinah, I don't know, you've been having sleepless nights about your next trip. And I imagine you can now sleep at night knowing Meghan is going to be adding hotels and restaurants to our forte of businesses. And I'm sure, P. Dinah, you'll sleep well at night knowing that now. So where does this woman get off just talking about businesses? She couldn't get the jam right. The website's still not done. Like, are we looking at a weird, because I'm in the realm of, is this woman's like fetish here? It's just teasing the public with something and then taking it away. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get it. I really don't. So first of all, welcome back and great to see you. But give us your take on the twerking and give us your take on the restaurant and let us all know how you're doing as well.
Oh, I'm doing fine, thank you. I think that twerking video was just like the beginning of another downfall for her. It just was so pathetic, and she tried to make it like it's a win because there were reports that were saying that, oh, she's so happy that, it was so controversial because it got a lot of views and it did what she wanted. And it's just so false. It's not like that was something she can be proud of. I don't understand why you would even think that is a good thing.
No.
Even if it gets a lot of views, what? So you're going to keep doing stuff like that to keep getting more views? It doesn't make sense. This woman is so delusional. And I think if anything, it confirmed for a lot of people the surrogacy. It made a lot of people feel like there is a there with that baby thing. Meghan is just turned into, she's really confirmed the ghetto behavior. I mean, like, that's just like,
Ghetto.
Why would you do that?
Straight up ghetto. That's what I said. I said, this is ghetto fabulous. It is just horrible.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Dinah, she wants us to believe that it's the British that thinks she's uncouth. No, it's everyone.
Yeah.
It's the United
She
States.
is uncouth.
Yeah. A lot of people feel that way about her because
Yeah.
I think, you know, Meghan wants to make it seem like it's a win in America because the people in the UK are so like anti this, but the Americans are looking at it the same way. I mean,
Yes,
it translates the same way whether you're in the UK or in America. It's not an American UK thing. It's a
right.
ghetto thing,
It's
and it
ghetto.
doesn't go down well.
She's not relating to anyone. Who is she
No.
talking to? I think she's trying to relate to a certain geographic or a group or someone to say, "Oh, look, Megan got it going on."
Yeah.
There was scenes in that Netflix series, right? In the movies where someone's going to visit their really crazy aunt in a facility, and the aunt's just like in the garden, heavily medicated, and like talking about she's saying whimsical stuff, and she's just having a good time because I got vibes of that watching that Netflix series. I felt like I was looking into like this weird world of Meghan where not even her relationships or not even making a sandwich is genuine. Okay.
Do you think that she possibly has an identity crisis? She's not quite sure who she is in this new world, and she's trying to still figure out her niche and what she wants to do with herself. So it's almost like she's bouncing from one idea to another. It's very chaotic and erratic, but there's never like enough enjoyment for one particular venture. She has to she can't find fulfillment in one thing. So do you think it's something to do with her identity more so than anything else?
I think it has something to do with her trying to be a billionaire and trying to stay relevant.
But
Like she
a
wants.
billionaire. Why is she not restocking? If you're a success,
Well, she didn't make any profit off of this gem. She
She
realized
made 15, Letitia. She made
you can't
15
do
and
it
then
right
gave them
away.
away.
she didn't make anything. She's too
But
busy
you got to work
buying
at it.
plastic bottles and stuff for the ambiance of
Listen,
it all.
Manuela, Letitia, I'm sorry. If she had made 10,000 jars of jam, 8,500 of them would have been bought by YouTubers out of spite. The other 1,500 would have been purchased by her fans. This would have been. She is on a gold mine, okay. But if I come into you and I give you a huge sales pitch, and then I just leave and nothing ever happens again, that's what she did. So I don't understand why her PR team or management aren't like, actually, someone should just make this jam. Right, because
I don't think they were in that big of a production. I don't think they had that many raspberries to go
Oh,
around.
there's plenty of raspberries to make jam. You could make stuff. I mean, we're manufacturing. You could make it. How did all the other companies make jam? I think that she only used the prototypes. I don't think she actually invested 100% into it. I don't think this is a
Hell no.
long-term strategy. She's just
No.
bouncing around. She possibly could have something successful if she does what everybody else does. You build it, you repeat it, you go with the wins, you keep working at it, you supply it, you come back, you restock, you have a story, you do customer service. I mean,
But
these
her
are not
jam
new
is only
things.
going to go so
I
far.
agree.
That scam jam, they already was talking about how it tasted. What she could succeed in is a reality TV show.
Right.
She's already
failed.
supposed to do it.
Yeah.
She's already doing the Oochie Coochie.
Just going back to Victoria's point where she was asking if Meghan knew who she is. I think Meghan knows exactly who she is, but she doesn't understand why we don't get it. I feel like we're the equivalent of a toddler being shooken by her going, love me, look at the jam, look at the hotels, damn it, I'm on Netflix, I've got married to a prince, okay, I've got mystery kids, love me. That's what I feel like she's doing. And
So does it then scream insecurity on her part? Does she need her ego massage consistently to feel like she's worthy?
Well, she said she was tired of proving herself. I'm tired of proving myself and over and just trying to prove yourself. No one told you that.
My take is that she tried to fake people into saying, oh, look how quickly I sold. So she would get deals from big companies They would make her.
Oh,
But no one. No, but Paula, this is where she messed up. In order to prove that to a company, you have to have a website that sells jam. She sent out 15 jars to influencers, and we've seen the state of the lemons and the dried up flowers. It was a shambolic launch, and I feel like she lost a bet somewhere. I genuinely feel.
I think she just wanted to put it like she did it so she can put it as that she's a female founder. No, I don't have to do it because I'm a female founder.
Yeah.
And
Just
now,
Meghan.
Now.
Yeah,
I'm
just-
a cooler here. What do you
Paula, it
think?
looks like you've got a man under the covers back there. Look. This guy from the Instagram.
Oh my word! Someone clip this and just frame Paula on the screen and take all the sound out, and then put a new soundtrack over the top of that. That would be perfect. Thank you. Send it to my
You know what's offensive about dance video? We have two black ladies here. We have Pidina. I know you can twerk probably, and I think you know how to
I
twerk.
tried. After I saw Meghan do it, I got jealous. I can get down there and do it.
And this is shameful. This woman is mostly white and bad dancer white, because I can tell you, I don't twerk publicly, but
oh. Damn!
Doing it well,
Holy shit!
She's a private twerker.
You do it privately, Paula?
You know she does.
Private twerker.
By the way, I have to say something which is incredibly important to me. Two announcements. Cristiano Ronaldo won the championship.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh,
at 40.
Okay.
I love you, Cristiano. I love you.
She loves that man. She loves that man so much.
Cristiano, if you're into private twerking sessions,
I need to talk to your husband because you don't know anything about football and your husband knows about football. And it's so frustrating because I'm so excited about it. And then it's like, and what they did what? And I'm like, oh. And then the doctor that I like turned out to be gay.
right, put a one in this. If we get 1,000 likes on this, I'll do an AI generated Paula twerking video for next week.
I'll send you the video you can show it. So funny.
How do you work off?
Yeah.
How does she know how to twerk? We've seen her dance. That is so embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it.
I mean, she's an embarrassment to whatever percentage of black race she has.
Yeah, when she pulled up her skirt, that threw me. I was like, oh, she's really getting nasty.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that too, Letitia. I was like, you did that way too naturally. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she was really feeling it.
She was in her head doing her thing. This is great.
But the thing is that this woman goes through the world without consequences. Right now, you know that she's really upset that they canceled her bought gift in Los Angeles at the Natural Museum. It's embarrassing, the Natural Museum, for being a humanitarian of what?
They canceled it.
Herself.
Yes.
It's herself. Right.
Humanitarian
That was karma.
I can't. The thing I'm surprised is that she still hasn't joined the riots. That's eating her.
Oh.
She wants to get on the front lines. She wants to get there.
Yeah.
I'm here. Look at me. No, it's
hell
I'm in
yeah.
trouble with my camera, so forgive me. There's a storm going on. It keeps.
Well, especially she's tight with Gavin Newsom, and Gavin Newsom has been getting a lot of flack. I'm surprised she hasn't been by Gavin Newsom's side.
Yeah, plus, if you need bricks smuggled into the riot, she's just hiding stuff under her dress. So, 2 for 1. But yeah, it's a well. Please like and share, and make sure you subscribe to everyone on the panel. Everyone who's joined mid-show, I'll make sure links are in the description for after the show. But make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you share this out to everybody. We've got one main point of topic before we get towards the end of the show, so that'll be in about 10-15 minutes. I want to get to that point of topic because it's the one damn thing that's happened in the royal sphere. that Ron is going to sound like he knows what he's talking about with, and I can't wait for it. I'm so glad you're all here to hear it, because it's so rare that you're all here to make me, and I make sense, so it's great. But
are you going to talk about the HRH, how Prince William is going to remove it when he's king?
Oh no! As if I'm going to get excited talking about that, George. Okay,
Well,
this
you're going to talk about the royalty. And I was like,
oh yeah, we're going in. It's.
You're
In
going
fact, you know what? Let's go. It's all concerning round this lovely lady, okay, and how she was Lady Harvey, okay, the wonderful ex of our ever popular, the man formerly known as Prince Andrew, and the way that a certain lady's sad departure from this earth was handled. And in 2025, when we have individuals who are at the center of the biggest story in human transportation,
right,
suddenly post on the internet that she was hit by a bus at 101 kilometers an hour and she's in hospital, and we see a pattern of behavior by journalists and governments and individuals like Lady Harvey, where in 2025 you have to destroy the legacy of an individual before they unalive themselves, all so conveniently. Because when you have a lady who was at the forefront of the Man on the Island case and outed so much that was previously covered up, and we have a suspicious, I'll be honest, I did a whole series on Virginia where we were struggling to find proof of life in the last 8 months.
You and I did a live, and you and I disagreed. I said, no, she's going to show up in court. And you said,
Yeah.
no, she's not. And you were right.
Yeah, man. It's sad. It's really sad. And then the next thing I said, I was right about that, which was, very sad. And the next thing I said is they have to now destroy her legacy before they announce, before she's announced as passed over. They need to lay the foundations for her being a crazy woman who's, completely unable to be controlled. They started to do that. And then they bring in the Wicked Witch of the West, right? Where is she, you little rascal? There she is. And they put this woman on Piers Morgan's show, and wouldn't you know it, the legacy is starting to unravel of Virginia, because Lady Victoria Harvey has evidence and proof that this photograph of her ex-man and Virginia on the island, we all know the one, all right, this one right here, was fake. I did a whole live stream using her own evidence, doing the Photoshop work live, and the level of insanity that was brought to this interview by Lady Harvey was off the chain. I don't know if any of you watched this.
Did Piers Morgan clap back at her, or did he just let her speak?
No, he tried to, but she was overtly rude to members of the panel, referring to one expert as an old man. And then, wouldn't you know it, during the interview, they bring on Virginia's father, okay? And he cold-heartedly says, they got my daughter.
Do you have a clip of this interview? I don't know which one.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, you're going to have to filibuster for me, guys.
It's really crazy because, George, I mean, and I hate to go on about this. I don't hate it, I like it. The Wolf Monologues is about a lot of that, of the cover of things and everything that goes on, and why we're here, guys. This is, people like Virginia, people like any people who are digging stuff, or people who are not held accountable, how the stories get twisted, how mainstream media gaslights everybody for everything. It's like, they're telling you the riots in LA is peaceful, the reporter, while the car is exploding behind him. I mean, I actually happened live, and that was watching.
But you need the National Guard.
Oh no, yeah,
that's a bit much.
Well,
and the Marines.
Whoa! Wait!
You have a lot of looting happening at night, and you have people who, the reason is you have the LAPD have been ordered not to do anything. When you watch them, when they're trying to handle rioters, they keep moving back. And now the rioters have been going out and they're looting everywhere. I have clips of sushi restaurants being looted, Foot Lockers, you name it. So the National Guard is there is to maintain peace. It's to show a sign of strength. Go, okay, everybody, you can't pull this anymore. Especially tomorrow, you have 1,500 protests happening across 50 states.
Like a third world.
I'll be honest with you. I don't want to waste getting all of you together to talk about the riots on a little segment during the royal mess, because my God, have I got things to talk about with the riots. And it's the same. Ireland's been burning for 4 days in the UK. I mean, we are talking wildness. So we will get to that. But look, I'm going to cut over to this interview with Piers Morgan, and we're going to hear what Lady Victoria Harvey had to say about the photograph. And there's Piers pointing at Piers needs you to like and subscribe right now. Okay. So let's hear what she had to say.
Immediate reaction.
Well, the point is, where did these photographs originally come from? And as I recall, the Daily Mail journalist who found
No. I got given these. Hold on. Oh, well,
No,
these are my photos.
You mean the original picture?
Oh, okay. So this is the other thing, right? So Virginia's photo, it was actually verified that actually the FBI never received a hard copy. They only got a copy put on a disc, so they never got to see the back of it.
Okay, Tom, do you just as a journalist, do you find this intriguing? Do you find it incredible?
As I understand the story, the original photograph.
It would have really short legs. It would have no legs.
You can.
So where she says they had really short legs, you can see her crudely taping this over here. I recreated this all on YouTube, done it all, and it matches. I mean, everything is fine. There's no shortening of legs or anything. We done size comparisons. We done the lot, and it's wild. There's more to this, so I'll keep going.
Mock up your photographs too. The point is that photographs clearly can be mocked up. The point
This is not. This is real. This girl's like 5'2".
Let Tom finish.
Yeah.
She had the photograph and she gave it to the journalist unsolicited. The journalist turned up at her door. It wasn't an FBI source. It was her photograph. And I believe it to be true. I don't believe.
It's sweet. It's sweet that you believe.
I believe it because I just don't see who would have the motive to construct.
That's what we all want to know.
Okay, well, you want to know because you don't believe it's true.
I mean, can you see the levels of this is I feel like someone's taken her chihuahua to put it in the back of a van and said, you go on Piers Morgan and you convince them, or Chi-Chi's getting it. That's like,
are you sure? I know, but why didn't Piers Morgan clap back? Why didn't he get in there? There's some.
Well, you've got to remember, she doesn't know Piers Morgan's bringing on Virginia's dad. So I think he's laying base work for he to be an unfiltered biatch as much as possible. There's a couple more bits of this. Just watch.
I don't want to know because I just don't believe that there's anyone.
I want to know who put Giuffre up to this.
Let me just speak 1 second.
Sorry.
There's nobody who has the motive, in my view, to originally put in these three people as a collage, because what would be the purpose?
Also, her lawyer, David Boyd, said he was skeptical when he first met her, just because he's a lawyer and always is. But he made her take a polygraph and she passed with flying colours.
Well, possibly.
That's what he said.
But that is also possible because she's gone through so much trauma.
Okay, all right. Let me bring in the others. Maureen Callahan, what's your reaction to this? I mean, this is a story that.
All right, I'm gonna put it to the part where our dad comes in, and you can, and then we'll sort of discuss a little bit more.
What was why was she there, lady?
Listen, she's the plant, baby. Chi-Chi's in the van, George. Chi-Chi's out in the desert, right? Chi-Chi's out in the desert. They've probably taken a couple of her Birkins as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a serious situation for her. So let's see what happens when Piers brings in her dad.
It's very sad. It's very sad that obviously, she didn't help the family, right? I mean, this father sounded desperate.
Well, look, we can clear this up because I'm going to be joined now exclusively by Virginia Giuffre's father, Sky Roberts. who's giving his
Why
first
supported him?
who's giving his first
It was
interview
sad.
on camera about this. Mr. Roberts, thank you very much indeed for joining me on Uncensored, and my deepest sympathies to you and your entire family over what has happened to Virginia.
Thank you.
It's an awful tragedy, and it ends a life of tragedy in many ways for your daughter. First of all, tell me about your reaction when you heard that she'd taken her life.
Well, first of all, I couldn't even believe it. I mean, I started crying right away. I'm still crying. I can't believe that this is happening. It's impossible. And then for them to say that she committed suicide, there's no way that she did. Somebody got to her.
I mean, there you go. Now, if you watch the rest of the interview, and I swear I'm not about to clickbait you here. If you take the time to watch this interview, Lady Harvey will say Israel was behind this, and but she can't elaborate because she doesn't want to be unalived. This is one of the most wild moments in this woman's entire career of doing mad stuff. But for our father to be like, there's no way this could happen, all the rest of it. I've spoken to an individual who was friends with Virginia on Twitter. They had been working together and had very good communication. And you know yourself, when humans have repeating patterns and those patterns break down, and then something happens like the alleged conspiracy around Virginia, you have to ask questions, because she was in daily contact, and then about 8-9 months ago, that all just went completely silent. Multiple individuals were reporting a drop in communication from Virginia months before all this happened. The image that was put out of her lying on the hospital bed, it does not look like someone with life left in them. It's an incredibly frustrating story, because the way I've done a whole series on this. The note that she left, the headlines were saying Virginia unalived, her final note. But then you read the article and it was just a note from a notepad. But if you're a passive media consumer and you're scrolling and you see final note and unaliving, you're going, oh, well, there was a note and she unalived herself, and you carry on scrolling. The power of the headline wars and the passive media consumer is why cases like this, they appear and then they disappear, because the passive individual doesn't tend to delve into the story. They read the headline. And when we have an individual like Virginia, a mother, I'm telling you now, I'm working with a woman we're working with mothers who've lost contact with their children because of a hypocrisy in the UK. And mothers they're not going to, I don't see Virginia unaliving herself when she is at the peak of trying to inspire and bring hope to so many survivors. I don't see it. And I'm still waiting for proof of life. I'm still waiting. The eyewitness accounts from the bus driver, it was such a minor traffic incident that he didn't exchange insurance with the person. It was a minor dink. He was a former paramedic. Now, George, you've worked in medical situations, right? Anyone who's worked in any situation like that, if you're in a minor car accident and you get out, you are scanning the inside of the car for how many people. Was there kids? Was there a dog? You're paying attention. There was no one else but a 70-year-old woman in that car. So there was no traffic accident. So who posted that on her accounts? And you need to delve into this case, people, because this is evidence of a massive power that not only the royals, but these individuals involved on the island, because Epstein no longer here. Maxwell hanged up. Okay, maybe the Prince Andrew's taken his licks, but do you know how many other people on the Epstein Rolodex would see her as a loose end? Do you know how many Arab princes and sheiks and things like this?
Well, we've got to refer back to the tweet from Elon. So, what did he say about Trump?
He said that.
Yeah, but Trump released
the island.
Yeah, Trump released that years ago that he's been on the plane. That was nothing new.
No,
that's why when Elon said it, it was a temper tantrum, because they're like, really? We talked about that during the campaign. That's why he said he wants, because remember, that's one of the things the media, which is why I despise it, always lies. Trump was the one who contacted, my damn camera's driving me crazy. Trump was the one who contacted the Florida district attorney and gave him information. He said, any help you need to put this ass away? Because once he realized who he was, he goes, I will help you. And you can go look that up. One of the Florida district attorneys, I think it's Miami or West Palm Beach, talks repeatedly how Trump for years helped them anything that they needed. And so that's why it was kind of ridiculous what Elon did. I support a lot of
that, the Democrats had any
to say that he was on the list.
Right. Yeah, because he said it himself. But I know Paul's to say if they had a sniff, a whiff, an inch that he did anything like step on the island and actually do, he'd be in jail. He wouldn't be president. I
honestly, the one thing that makes me believe that Trump isn't on the list in the way we think it is how many times has he been sued as a president? It's like, I feel like no other president has been sued as much whilst he's a president. The Californian governors and things like this are trying to sue him now. It's bonkers.
Right.
And I think they would have torn him apart.
Reality. Come on, 92.
Wait, George. I've got to give you the other side of the coin, right? Mm-hmm. But it's been proven before that Trump is too big to take down from a financial point of view. There's banks that have money invested in him. And Paul, this was a documentary that when 20, 30 years ago, Trump was almost going to go bankrupt. They couldn't allow it because it would have been devastating to the banks and things like this, and they bailed him out. Now, that happened. It's a fact. And
that's what you're talking about for the Taj Mahal. You're talking about for the Taj Mahal. Yeah, you're talking about for the Taj Mahal. And that's anybody. It's for anybody. It used to be, not always, it used to be that if you're in business and you'd get a loan from a bank and you go back to them and get another loan, eventually you can get big enough loans to where the bank wants to keep supporting you because they don't want to lose their ass. But you also have to look at the reality. We're talking about different time periods and different strata of wealth. Trump's wealth today, yes, billionaire, he's in the 1%, but we're talking about when you have people like the Elons and the Gates and you're talking levels that they're not going to look at Trump. They went after him with 96 different indictments and they couldn't get him because why? Because the man was innocent. If they had a picture of him on the island, he'd be in jail today.
Or right. In fact, you know what? This is I'm going way too. I'm about to go full tinfoil hat, and we're having too much fun here for this. Let's circle it back, and let me just throw it out to you guys. I wanted to cover Virginia, so thank you for letting me have my little rant there. Before we start to wind down the show, let's hear from everyone one more time. Let's start with Paula, and then we'll go Manuel, P. Dinah, Letitia, Victoria, and then George. Paula, what would be your final point on Meghan, Harry, the royals, all of it for our first episode back? I just want to say all of you are so awesome, my panel members, my co-hosts. I just want to say thank you so much for giving up your time and coming back here and being part of the show. I can't thank you enough. I love hanging out once. I'm sure you're all carrying me. I'm the ash dragger. I'm not really the one that knows all about the royals, but man,
I miss you, Ryan.
We've all missed you a lot. It's lovely to get back together again.
If I'm that friend where if you get in a bar fight, I'm not asking questions. I'm just jumping in and scratching. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm just jumping. It's the same with it. I absolutely love it. And P. Dinah and George, Victoria and Manuela and Letitia and Paula, just all of you for being here. I really appreciate you all so much. So thank you.
I just need to clarify something because I've been getting a lot of comments on P. Dinah that you had a facelift. No, she's just using Manuela's product.
Beautiful.
There, I can see it now. Some salty ass bitches in the comment section. No way.
Facelift, and then you saw I sent you the thing, right? I sent you the screenshot.
Yeah, send me the clip.
And I'm like, no, she's just using, because Manuela, your products are amazing.
I love her products. They're amazing. Really.
I get, like I was suffering.
Oh, you do skincare.
Do you have? Do you make any creams that'll make me taller?
Yeah. And one that makes you
I'm
really
not a
bigger as
magician.
well.
I just want to clarify that now that we're in public and a
Stuff on
bunch
my
of us are
face.
here, Edina has not had a facelift.
No, I
No.
have not.
For 4
No.
weeks, you know. But you know, and the thing about the Meghan, just to wrap it up, the thing about Harry and Meghan, just like many, like it's a culture thing. And this is why, and I go back to George and his monologue because it's, you know, I've been looking for something that put everything that they represent. And I'm, you know, like I speak 4 languages, but I speak them all badly. So I struggle with words. But when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's what I've been trying to say. That's what it means. This is what's really happening. Lack of accountability, powerful mainstream media trying to tell us that what we're seeing is not true. Harry coming back to the UK, like Pat, you're going to put a video today about Harry coming back to the UK, how Charles still helping Harry with the 2 bodyguards. There's no accountability. It's all these lies because these people are, now we're being told, don't believe what you see, no matter that you're seeing it with your own eyes. Don't believe what you hear. And, you know, like billionaire victims, you know, while people are really struggling. And Harry and Meghan, I believe that people like me or people like Pidina or George or anybody who does real work exposing it, it's kind of like journalism is dead. And Harry and Meghan and people like him, like Blake Lively doing a lap dance. I keep saying lap dance. It's like a victory dance. You know, I did a live today with this amazing thing. And it's like, and I kept saying lap dance about Blake Lively, but it's actually a victory dance. And then it's like, nobody makes them accountable. And I've always said abuse or any behavior that is not held in check, it just grows. And we're seeing it with Meghan Markle. Like George says, we're going to see the sex tape. Whether we want to or not, we're going to see that bloody sex tape.
Oh, I definitely want to.
I do too.
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
I'll make a freaking night of it, man. That's that. Are you having a laugh? A print, a UK print smashing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. You know, there's going to be people are going to be dropping merch that at some point. I'm telling you, man. I'm just saying. It'll be the fastest viewed video that day on Google.
Yeah.
I'm putting money on it.
Yeah.
No, research, Victoria, for research purposes, so that you guys do not have to watch it. From a journalistic point of view, guys, come on, come on.
The bottom line is that he's always going to be protected as long as King Charles is alive. I think things will change when William becomes king, but for now, Harry and Meghan are protected by King Charles.
See, you think they're protected by King Charles? That's interesting, because look what Harry came out and said recently. It's going to be all Daddy's fault if something happens to him.
I don't know. I mean, what do you think, Manuela? Let's do the clockwise. What do you think, Manuela?
I think that, well, I like to get involved too, because I think that they normalize bad behavior. They normalize gaslighting and ridiculousness. And I think that that's very dangerous. I think that people don't have proper role models, and people do consume a lot of content. And when this becomes very normal for people that are impressionable, our children, teenagers, people who want to have a career, and they're looking to this kind of behavior, I think it's a very bad precedent to send. So people who are real, who've actually done things in life, who've actually don't live in, social media or Instagram or those kind of aspirations, who actually want to make more out of themselves, they need better information, and they need to be able to have critical thinkers around them, or to see different perspectives so they can make better choices. So that's what I think. And I do believe that, look, I mean, I've been around, I started with nothing in my life, right? An idea in a blender. But I happened to marry somebody whose family is very, very, very well, before the revolution, were very, very wealthy. So I've gotten to see both sides. And people who have powerful families and a lot of money and influence, they band together. They have a lot of potential. They can do things right. They know how to do things. So the fact that Harry and Meghan are allowed to fumble along or look like they're fumbling along, it's really not what we think it is. I think there's so much more behind the scenes. I think the roles are really, Charles is involved. I think they've got levels of access that we haven't even thought of yet, because there's an end game that we haven't even thought of yet. That's what I think is happening, because they just can't screw up this much and be so supported.
Right.
I think if you're an idiot though, and you've got that level of access, then you know it's dangerous.
Absolutely, it's dangerous.
Not
This
every
is a
person
vibe where, you know.
Not every person born into wealth is intelligent, and therefore these two are really allowed to do what they want. But they're bumbling around, making mistakes, and everyone's covering it up for them.
There's no mistakes, are they?
They're not really mistakes. These are all there's more to it, because I have some nieces and nephews that are very well off at this point in other parts, and they fumble around, but no one knows that they're making these mistakes, because the family knows how to expose some things and hide other things.
Yep. I'll be honest. When you forget about people's tolerance for this sort of behavior, right? When we see it so much with these two, and it's a great point that I have been away so long, I forgot about how I felt about the cosplays and the traveling around and the fake royal visits and things. I fully support what you're saying. It seems to be like they're serving a purpose that's playing out that we haven't seen yet, because how can they possibly be getting away with what they're doing? How can they possibly still think that anyone's, I mean, again, if no one's buying anything, where's the money coming from? What is the grand end game with this? I'm telling you, man, just when we looked at that Nigeria trip, and then we looked at how budgets were split, and a majority of them were going to new contractors that they just met out there, that is some like proper mafiosa shizness, right? I'm just saying, you go over there, you meet, and like a bunch of them were actually wanted federal criminals as well, as Paula pointed out. So for me, I'm just waiting on the next one of those, man. I mean, I really, really am. And it's such a good point, because how can they possibly be getting away with it all? Because look at how embarrassing Fergie was, and they just allowed her to just fizzle away. You know, she'd make the papers every now and again, but not an even close to how these two were, you know. And yeah, it's a really good point.
Do you think that there is a lot of secrets in the closet, and therefore they have to keep protecting them every time they fumble? There is a lot of secrets, especially on Meghan's side and her family tree and where she's come from, and you know, there's this talk of incest as well. Is that something more to do with that rather than their actions? It's to protect the identity of the royal family.
I can't see Meghan for what we've seen of her. And when you listen to her speak, she is not an intelligent person. She's not a leader. She's not very insightful. She's not an island. She is part of some other machine or entity that was brought forward to meet Harry or work with this behind the scenes. There's much more layers to it, because just her at face value, I mean, she can't work her way out of a paper bag. Like, seriously, like you just listen to her. There's tranches and products and launches and nets. And it's like, you don't even know what you're saying, lady. Like, it's just like, it just doesn't make sense. So she's a puppet. I just think, when I think of her, I think of like the George Bush, the Jr., right? When he was just a puppet. Like, he was not that smart, right? He was just out there. And behind the scenes, there's people pulling the strings, because otherwise, where does she come up with all these ideas or opportunities to live this life and to get there and then fumble it? You'd be so in awe. You're in the house, you meet the queen, you're in their house, you're running around. You're going to be so overwhelmed. You don't have time to do the rest.
No, you're like all scared and jittery and like, oh my God, I'm meeting the Queen of England. Not just meeting her, but I'm going to be a part of the royal family. Oh my God, I feel sick.
Okay, so look, you're all thinking like well-adjusted human beings. Let me take you down to the gutter for a minute here. So, are we saying?
I want to see what George has to say.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, okay. On you go, George.
What I believe is, I agree in part with a little bit of what Manuela's saying, but I also think we can make it much, much simpler than that.
Okay.
Doesn't always have to be a puppet. There are such things as called whores. I mean, when you just say it, just whores who are street smart. I mean, she's a Hollywood man hopper who, when you go and you look at her career and you look at I'm talking about just straight facts. When you look at her career and you look at the television show she did and the film she did, they're all tied to relationships, boyfriends, fiancés, dad, and she moves up. You see that when she got in Suits, all of a sudden her circle starts to expand. The Misha Nunu, then to Princess Eugenie and to Beatrice, and slowly getting into Harry's circle. Harry is not a boy who is lost. He found a whore where his hate found a home. That's it.
I like the way you said that.
She was able to go, guess what? I can show you how to hone that hatred. I can help you manage everything you want. That's what I've always thought. And he found a weapon against his family.
Wow.
Because he was born second.
Harry is the weapon.
I think Harry uses Meghan as a weapon. And I think he found his spiritual soulmate as far as hate and anger is concerned, because he's been so angry at being born second. Some guy with a way that his mannerisms, the way he speaks, even in the last BBC interview or in the ITV, all you hear from him is like, "Oh, me, Harry, bad. Oh, woe is me, Harry." Be a man. A man, you learn. You fall, you rise, you get tougher, you get stronger, you get smarter, you get wiser. But it's the same deal with him.
Not a man, he's a frog.
Yeah, I'm gonna take your just a whore theory, right? And I'm gonna raise you, George.
Okay.
One thing that ladies who are promiscuous are very versed in, George, is a plan Bs, right?
Yeah.
So
He doesn't look like the type that's that good in the bed.
no, Ron's cooking, right? So they take a lot of these women will take photographs of married men when they're sleeping after they've been with them, things like this, as a security plan. Are we saying that we're not going to think that there's a possibility that she just walked in when Prince Charles was in the shower, pulled the curtain back, took a photograph of him, and is like, "We control you now because we can blackmail you with the naked shower pic," or something?
I don't think so, because he already did that to himself with the tampon conversation. Like, after that, there's nothing that could like really embarrass him. Otherwise, I would agree. I mean, once a man says he wants to be a tampon, like, it's kind of like the end of the road.
So petty blackmail and things like that, we're not going to assume that I mean, would it even be possible? I imagine the future king's bathroom is pretty locked down.
Yeah,
but we've got to imagine that it can't be out of the world of speculation that there's something going on where she's got a control chip. Is it just the kids? I don't know.
I think it's Harry. I just think it's you have a father who has put his being a dad first before being a king and putting country first.
Okay.
He's done the wrong thing. The whole point of a leader, whether it's in business or whether it's a president or whether it's a king, is it's your business comes first. It's your country comes first. Those are the sacrifices that people make in those positions, born by them or built them.
Yeah,
he wants to have both. Oh, I want my son and I want my country. You can't.
Oh, you see that too, George? You see
life's not like.
And saying that though, we might have had hundreds of Harrys throughout history. We just can't lop heads off now. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm sure we've been saved from a lot of historical characters that just ended up. The king was just like, "You what, mate? You're marrying Meghan her?"
Well, it would be classified as treason, wouldn't it? Back in the day, leaving. Surely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely. I mean, back then, they'd have been like, "Okay, you're going on a crusade. We'll never see you. Or you're going to a monastery."
Leaving back in the day. Yeah, leaving from the freaking the turret of the castle. Yeah,
what do you think?
About specifically around what they're doing, or around
what's going on with Harry and
the
Meghan?
culture and
accountable? What's going on?
I mean, it's just it's such a lost opportunity, because I just think the effect that Princess Diana had on so many young girls, like even myself, like she really made an impact on my life. And just imagine the girls who are impacted by Meghan and just all the things that she is doing. We're just such a lost society. We
It
don't
is
have people that
sad.
lift you up, that are that, good role models that really exude like this behavior that you want to emulate. It just seems like everyone's out there rampant, just doing things, saying that what Megan did, like they tried to lift that up as good, but her hospital room twerking was a good thing. Like it's just like we do so many things that are so shameful and try to look at it as being, be proud of that. You did something good, and lifting up that bad behavior is just terrible for when it comes to kids because that's what they're already doing. I think it's just that's like a bad role model to young girls who are doing that like all the time. Like look at these award shows and look at the music videos and the music and the debauchery of what happens with these rap songs and these rappers and what they're doing. And you just look at Megan being lifted up for doing something similar as a former like royal, like in the real royal family. And it's just sad to me. I just am
You nailed it.
disgusted by her behavior.
You nailed it. You nailed it. That's one of the things that drives me up the wall. And pardon me for my language earlier. I couldn't think of a kinder word than that. But it's the fact of what they represent. Both Padina and Manuela kind of like have captured it. They should not have any supporters. Having one is too many, but having whether they have thousands plus 1 million Bangalore bots, it's the fact that you're talking about this corrosive quicksand, this corruption, and that's what they represent. You're talking about, hey, we're grifters, and this is the life. Screw people over to get what you want. That's why they, to me, are like emblematic of everything wrong. They are the rot at the heart of Western culture, or they represent it, not the rot itself, but they represent it as a prime example.
Yeah, I mean,
not only have they for it, and you have the mainstream media, like you said, George. They have the mainstream media working a narrative to justify that behavior, to say that we are wrong for calling it out, that we are the bad guys for seeing what's happening.
And it's just the opposite, because we are here to bring awareness about these two people, and then they can make their own decisions. Our subscribers are the people that follow us and listen to us. They can make their own decisions and comment. It's pretty cool because they put themselves out there as someone that want to be critique. I do believe that she wouldn't be twerking if she didn't want us to respond.
Of course. Of course, because the media, they want it to continue. That's the difference between them and how they used to be. The media used to be, the fourth estate. They'd go, they would discover the facts, the news, and they would one cover something so they could end it or bring it to you, highlight it. Today, they're like, no, they want the circus to continue. But by continuing the circus, what they end up doing is promoting it. And they promote that lifestyle. Be bad, it's better. That's not the way it should be.
The problem is that they have a huge platform. They have that reach. I mean, the fact that people like Meghan Markle are able to, I know it's a stupid thing, the Natural Museum, but still, and the reason that they postponed it is not really the riots, it's because they couldn't sell the tickets.
I like that. Man, you're right.
No, for real.
I believe you, yeah.
Didn't just some awards in the Hollywood, and people are like getting the Hollywood awards, and they're like, well, we know what's happening outside.
Yeah, who's going to pay to see her? Come on, Paula, you and I both know who is going to pay.
Depends what she's doing, George. Depends what she's doing, my guy.
You think she knows that she has failed?
Yeah, see,
my mom, I almost feel sorry for her.
You feel sorry for her? Yeah.
I said I almost.
See, I don't feel sorry for users. I never have.
Nah.
It's just me, I don't, because I've seen up close the damage that they can do. You're not talking about somebody who's, especially the way she described her childhood. She described it as nearly perfect, dad, hero, best friend, big buddy, You're not talking about someone who's like, I was abused, I was beaten, I was battered, I climbed out of the hole, and you carry that baggage. You're talking about somebody who was granted everything, spoiled probably to the moon and back, and ended up using that in order to use other people. She didn't take the goodness that was given to her to learn from it to be a good human being. She took that to go, oh, I can screw good people.
Do you think she's failing?
Yep, absolutely.
Where
You know, like,
she's
and I was just going to
failing?
say something because, for example, Pidina has a charity, and we were talking about this, Pidina, right?
Mm-hmm.
She has to scrape. She has to do all kinds of things, you know, just to support her charity. And here we have Harry and Meghan, in my very humble opinion, and this is just my opinion, that they called it. Meghan is getting herself a humanitarian award. That's like good that they couldn't sell the tickets, but still they get access like $8 million that they were given, $7 million, and they're, you know, that to this day they still haven't posted the IRS tax return for 2023, and we're in 2025.
That's right. Yep. They get away with so much, and it seems so unfair, you know, when you're trying to do good work and it's so difficult to make headway with what you have, but yet money just falls from the sky for them. Like there was a foundation you said that where they get money from, Paula. I forget, Fidelity.
Charitable. They got that's
Yeah.
what they got, Fidelity Charitable, $6 million, but Meghan only reported 5.
Right. Yeah. So
And get this, Invictus Games Foundation in Canada, 63 fudging. I didn't say I said fudging.
You did well. You did well.
Okay.
Mhm.
But in there, 34 of those are from donors because they got 24, something like that. Because 30 million was from the Canadian government. And
The
the rest,
Canadian government.
yes.
Wow.
Yes. And then it ended up costing 63 million. And now they're going to Birmingham,
Yeah.
which is a city that's falling apart. They have no money, but Harry managed to get 27 millions from the government.
That's ridiculous.
Money well spent. Money well spent. I see. I'm going to turn the ship and just go fully back and support Meghan and Harry now. We should give them more money. Like, we should just give them more money and just see what happens.
I can just tell you.
This is the danger. I know you guys think, but this is the danger because they do have access to platforms and people like you, George. You have to work really hard for your platform. Pidina, all of us, you know, like. And instead, I get threats from my little school and shelter, George, you know, like everybody here at Medina. And these people have automatic access.
Yeah, we do put ourselves on the line.
Huge platforms.
I will say one thing that I believe in, and we can. I see there's diminishing returns. However much money they have, the only thing Meghan seems to care about after money is fame, is celebrity.
That's
and
it.
Every week that goes by, every stunt she pulls, her popularity polls drop. There is a point where she will disappear. It's kind of like I've always believed in karma. Karma might be late to the party, but she will always be the last one to turn off the lights. So
that's what I meant about
that's what I was going to say. They're not that popular, really, even though they have a platform.
Right.
Doesn't mean that they're well liked, and everything they do is recorded, so you can go back and analyze it and unpick it and unpack it and go, well, this doesn't make sense, this doesn't correlate to this and this and this. So we have a history there of them of failing and not being genuine. So I don't necessarily, even though they've got a platform, I don't necessarily think that they are popular. I think actually they're hated more than anything else.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying, Victoria. Who's buying this? This is what I'm saying. Who's buying this?
But they're still influential, right? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. Listen, the more we discuss where their power, money, and all of it comes from, this is all shenanigans. There's a bigger story here. We're just not privy to it yet because it's either this is either the longest going Illuminati like humiliation ritual we have ever seen publicly, or there's a bigger ploy here. I have no idea what it is. Okay,
are you curious to know?
Hell yeah.
If
that's what I'm saying, give him more money.
What he's gonna do, like he has nothing to do all day but open the door for her, and that's it. Like he hasn't a job. What she's gonna do, take care of him for the rest of his life, No, she's not that type of woman. So that's when when money problems start happening, that's when everything is going to go
Listen,
down.
I still think allegedly in a little book somewhere, she's got a plan about getting William and Catherine and the kids on a helicopter. And then that helicopter disappears, and somehow she is now going to become queen. I'm just saying, I can see Queen Meghan in the future.
It would never happen.
George is like, wait until it happens, George.
I think the United Kingdom would revolt.
I think so too.
Okay, then, George, when it happens, that sort of revolt.
You know what's so funny? What's so funny? That's what they said about Camilla, that she would never be.
Except Camilla didn't.
Paula, you're right. That's not good
Camilla
argument, is it?
redeemed herself.
Right.
Yeah,
Camilla would never be crowned. I remember, I have all the documentaries, the royal experts. There's absolutely no way first that he was going to marry her. There's no way, because the queen even forbade her from being in her presence. Okay, she could not be around the queen, and then there was no way. And then I have actually the document that Charles put in order to lobby to get married to Camilla, and he promised that she would be called princess consort. This is
that's right, yeah. And you know what? Wait, Paula actually, before the coronation, do you remember? You sat down. I don't know if we were live or not, but you were like, "No, Ron, it's the Queen's concert," and you went through and you explained it all. And then there was this full U-turn, and you were like, "Well, goddamn," because it was a major thing. It was a major thing.
I was glad she was called
princess consort. Yeah, no, because I have the document, and you know what's really great? I have this sub. And he sent me the coronation documents from King from 1937, from King George, the abdication from George V. The Queen, I mean, everything, and all the papers. And there's some things there about Prince Charles. I've been reading it, and I'm absolutely shocked that they put it back there. I guess they didn't censor, and this is in the coronation pamphlets that they get. Yeah. And I am shocked. But I remember, because I'm 56 years old. I'm older than all of you. Oh, no, except you. Yeah.
Will you stop outing everyone? God damn.
Manuela, it's actually just okay. Manuela shocked me that you're 60.
Oh my God. Leave Manuela alone. She's a scientist who's reversing aging. That's why she's so good. Okay, she's got.
I remember all of this. In Canada, we remember all of this because we're Canadians, and I remember all of this and all the scandals. And everything. 1994 was a bad year for Charles. People were
actually, do you know what? The intrusive thoughts are winning now. The intrusive thoughts are winning. So, what's like the banned stuff, Manuela? Like, what's the stuff that really reverses aging that you're not allowed to sell? Like, what's the mad? Like, what is there like? Is there like secret ingredients that you're not allowed to use, or what?
Sorry, no, we have.
Yeah, none of that.
There are drugs, absolutely. There are drugs. There are things that could be derived in different ways that we absolutely do not use in skincare or cosmetics. There are things that, but there is a lot of science, and there's a lot of good things that you can do where you could use peptides and different elements, delivery systems to signal. So it's going to help change the behavior of the surface of the skin. And then if you actually help it along by eating a little bit healthy, going into zone 2 exercise, which is really beneficial for you, you could really help to reverse, support, grow. My goal has always been to grow older, but grow stronger, not weaker as you get older. That's really important.
Ron, we've actually done a video together on my channel about anti-aging and production.
Well, to be honest, right? I was looking for more like the forbidden Amazon poppy that none of us are allowed to know about. It takes us back to like the fountain of youth. There's no secret plans, or you can't tell us. I suppose you'll have signed a government contract that says you'll never reveal the secrets of the anti-aging. But it's fascinating.
Well, there's a lot of umbilical cord essence that people are trying to pass in Canada and the US for people to use from umbilical cord or foreskin. That's also another key cell extract.
No,
they're trying
women. No. Sorry. I draw the line. I know
an actress who uses force.
Look at George's face. Look at George's face. Look, he's like, "Oh, come on the Royal Mace. It'll be fun. We're getting the whole gang." We're talking about flipping PP creams. Like, listen, right? I have actually got in 6 minutes, I need to keep a promise to a wonderful lady who I've let down for the last couple of nights.
Yes.
And I just want to reiterate to everyone how amazing it is to all be back. George, you and I need to just get this whole opening up pieces of cardboard on the internet and talking nerd stuff rolling. First of all, we need to get that fully under swinging. And I just want to say to everyone again, thank you all for being here. You're just amazing, and thanks for giving up your time. And next week we'll be back on Thursday. Now, we did speak about the Kevin Blatt interview. That'll be going up. It'll either be on Sean's channel or on my channel, depending on which one gets approved, because it's a bit of a spicy content one. And that'll happen directly before next Thursday's episode of The Royal Mess. And I keep moving the things around, and they keep moving by themselves, so I'm not even going to try and move anything around. So I just want to say thank you to you all. Thank you to the side chat. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to my wonderful panel. Thank you for being here. And most of all, thank you to you, Paula. As always, you are the backbone of all. You look surprised every time I say this. Don't pretend.
Yes, Paula.
You are
She's amazing.
Yeah, she is. You're so sweet.
And by the way,
Paula.
go watch the Woke monologues. Go donate to Pidina's charity because we need to support Pidina.
You see how she does that? You see how she does that? You see how she does that? We're giving her a compliment, right? She can't handle it.
I know. She bypasses.
Did you see how she did
somewhere else?
You see how she did that?
People
Every time.
It's isomers. And the same with Pidina.
Right, okay, I'm going to mute you, and you're going to sit there while we say nice things about you, Paula. Okay, and you're awesome. All right, you're awesome, and you really are the backbone of all this. You always have been, and I can't thank you enough. And you put all of this together for us, and look at the success of it all. And I just want to say thank you so much for all you do for me and all you have done. I really appreciate you.
She's a gem.
Absolutely.
Really. Thank you so much.
I accept it. I'll take the compliment.
Accept your award. Just accept it.
I'll take
She's
it.
going to go.
Please go watch and support all the YouTubers because all of us work really hard, and especially the Woke monologues. Go watch it, and I promote that because if you want to find out, and if you struggle to understand things, why we are where we are, that's it in one place. So, and also donate to Pidina's charity and subscribe to everybody here. And I want to thank you, Sean and Ron, for giving us the opportunity to come here in your platform and be crazy, but also
we've had fun.
support each other. But mostly, like people who are eloquent, far more eloquent than I am. Manuela, Pidina, who's very level-headed, unlike me, and George.
Big shout out to George's camera that's kept us entertained this evening as well.
I don't know George's Star Wars, and I'm a Trekkie.
Yeah. If anybody wants to start a rumor on Reddit that George is AI generated, this footage is great bit for that. But look, thank you everyone for being here. Lovely to meet you, Manuela. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
I hope to see you all of you again next week. And I just again thank you to everyone for giving up your time. I really appreciate you all. So from me, Ron Swanson, as always, guys, be safe out there. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.